This is ABC Sports coverage of the 2024 AFL Premiership season.
On ABC Radio,
ABC Sport Digital, and take us with you on the ABC Listener.
Look for the AFL button.
We are barely halfway through round one and they're already making big sounds right across the competition. The Greater Western Sydney Giants dismantling the reigning premiers at this very ground last week. Today it's a different prospect and a sense of the unknown. A regenerative North Melbourne side in Alistair Clarkson's second year in charge. Plenty of new faces and the continued emergence of last year's Rising Star winner Harry Sheasel. It's a tough assignment first up for the Kangaroos, who did show a few glimpses in their pre-season match simulation. They also lost their skipper, Jai Simpkin. Alistair Clarkson lost $20,000. This is Grandstand AFL. Welcome to the Sydney Showground. My name is Brett Sprigg, and it's a warm welcome to call the action alongside me. Welcome back to Daniel Garb.
Thank you very much, Spriggy. Delighted to be here. First game of the season for me. First game for North Melbourne, of course. I can't wait to see them in action with two of their boom youngsters, Colby McKercher and Zane Dersma, out together for the very first time, linking up with the likes of Sheasel, as you mentioned, and Nick Larkey, the players that North Melbourne fans hope desperately will form the nucleus of their next premiership tilt in years to come. We know the Giants are very much in that window right now, which makes them box office viewing each and every week. And the Easter show's going on in the surrounding areas, and that means a lot of fans might just stream in late, but a very big crowd is building and plenty of North Melbourne Guernseys outside.
The Giants won't play a home game here again until round 10 after today. So they'll play their usual sort of home swing in Canberra. Of course, there's Gather Round, there's a lot of games on the road, there's a Sydney Derby at the SCG, but it's 9 weeks until they play a game here in mid-May against the Western Bulldogs, so incentive plenty to get to a 2-0 start to the year. Of course, there always is to get a good start like that, but given they won't be back here at the Showground for a couple of months. And team news here, there are no late changes for either side. The Giants lost Callan Ward last week to his shoulder injury. Last week's sub McMullen makes way from the squad. In comes Harry Perryman back from a hammy, and young gun Finn Callahan, a shoulder concern. He returns from that. Nick Haynes is the sub for the home side. For North Melbourne, plenty of new faces, as we said. A slightly older face, Liam Shields, is the sub for them, but they welcome in those two top four picks last year. McKercher at number 2 and Zane Dersma, his fellow first rounder who was taken at pick number 4. Toby Pink, the mature age pickup who debuts at the age of 25, as well as club debuts for former Blues Zach Fisher and ex-Sydney Swan Dylan Stevens. So, as I say, the change of face there at North Melbourne, looking to improve on their 17th place finish last year. It's also a milestone for Josh Kelly. He'll play his 200th game against the side he grew up barracking for as a kid. His dad Phil played for the Kangaroos, and for the visitors, Cameron Zurhaar will play his 100th AFL game as well. A reminder, you can text us as always, 0437 774 774. The bounce of the ball is 90 seconds away, and along for the ride and the fun is Premiership winning Swan Tig Keneally. Welcome, Tig.
Afternoon, guys. How are we all doing? I'm sure everyone's excited for this one. You know, last week, obviously, North Melbourne, not North Melbourne, they didn't play last week. It's round 1, isn't it?
Yes, it is for them.
Good start. The Giants obviously were very impressive, but also the pre-season for North Melbourne. You know, the fact that the 34-point win against the Magpies, you know, and albeit the way they've started the season, can't be much confidence for you. But when you're up and coming, you're at the bottom of the ladder. Every win's so important in the pre-season. They put it up to St Kilda in the pre-season game, you know. You in this competition, if you're off 5%, it's at your peril as a team, and that's going to be the win and loss of this game, and how Giants approach it mentally.
It's got that feel today. The Giants are rightly favoured, and there's plenty of buzz around them, as you say, Garby, but this could be one of those sort of things where, you know, they are challenged by the Kangaroos, who are out to prove something. It is their first game of a new season. There's a few North fans around the place here. Opening bounce is seconds away. Declan Byrne is boundary side for us. Declan, what's it like down there?
It's pretty blowy down here. Southerly coming across the ground, cloud overhead, 23 degrees. The Giants just won the toss, so Phil Davis did the toss. It's been a big week for Phil Davis. Green won the toss and will run to the big screen end.
Yeah, Phil Davis with his documentary, his latest documentary being released, as Declan touches on there. Underway here at the Showground, the Giants and the Roos on Grandstand AFL. Here's Daniel Garb.
Josh Kelly in game 200 against the team his dad played for, the team he supported as a kid, starting in the middle of the ground, and he gets hands on the footy after it's palmed down by Tristan Sherry, the North Melbourne ruck, wearing the headgear. It is wrapped up though, so we'll have a ball up in the middle of the ground. Tom Green with the opening clearance. High ball to centre half forward. Callum Brown leaps for it. Fresh off 5 goals last week. Couldn't take the mark. And North can bounce away from a half back. Sits up nicely for Nick Larkey. A long way from home. Has Bailey Scott running in support. He's pushed off it though by Bedford. Callaghan in for his first game of the season. Knocks it to himself up the wing and just failed to keep it in. We'll have a boundary throw in. 60 out from the Giants attacking goals. Down to Declan Byrne on the boundary.
Not a good sign for Bailey Scott, who was pushed by Bedford, then grabbed his left high hamstring straight away. So we'll keep an eye on that. He's staying out there for now.
Probably Bedford among the best pressure forwards in the comp last year, Ty.
You wouldn't want to be taking him on too much either with his speed, So he's looking to be aggressive on him, which is good to see.
Emilio snaps inside 50 here for the Giants. Lurking there, Hogan gathers cleanly. Hand pass off to Tom Green, bursting by. Now off here again from Daniels. Snaps the hot spot here for the Giants. Spoiled away in defence. The Roos can link up here through Wardlaw and now Davies-Uniacke. Kicks the outer side. And a strong grab is taken out there again, this time by Callum Coleman-Jones on the southern wing of the Sydney Showground. No score inside the opening 90 seconds.
Nice signs by George Wardlaw. Showing a bit of pace out of defensive 50. Here's Zach Fisher, the former Blue. Being used at half back. Plays on and kicks long into attack. Sam Taylor comes out and meets it. Arguably the best defender in the game. Strong mark on his chest in defensive 50 as Cornelio running off him. Handball to Buckley. They move it on now to the 200 gamer and Josh Kelly. Cute kick to Whitfield. This is beautiful from the Giants. This is the Orange Tsunami. It's with Finn Callaghan. 52 out. Just pokes it into the pocket. Riccardi was there. Couldn't take the mark. Callaghan mops up. Back to Riccardi. Looks at something he likes in the middle of the ground. Daniels couldn't mark. Sheasel comes away with it.
And the Roos can rebound again through Davies-Uniacke. Tumbles a kick toward the outer wing. It bounced out in front of Zerha. Kept it alive here for Stevenson. And he just notices his kick up the line. It missed Wardlaw. Pressure from Cornelio. Bounce back to Zerha here. Goes on a run up the wing here. Lost his footing. Now it's worked out again by Larkey. Back to Wardlaw. Kicks into the back of Buckley for the Giants. Mops up now. Sweeping hand pass wide to Daniels. Bursting by Whitfield. Needs a neat entry here. And he finds one. Onto the chest of Jesse Hogan. 45 out. Slight angle left of centre.
Oh, the forwards have started on fire. They're getting lead-ups everywhere.
He'll play on here. Hogan go long to the pocket now for Riccardi. Gets up there, can't pull down the grab. They mop up in defence here, the Kangaroos. Firstly through Dawson, and now Zach Fisher with his first touch as a Kangaroo. A short kick to Harry Sheasel, a Rising Star winner of last year.
Sheasel in the pocket. Kicks to the outer side. Callum Coleman-Jones does well. Out-muscle Jack Buckley. Marked on the wing. Kangaroos try to play on quickly. It's with Lazaro now in the middle of the ground. His kick finds Darcy Tucker, the former Docker, on his left. Looks for the lead of Larkey. Arguably got a push in the back from Sam Taylor. Umpire said that's okay. Taylor with the mark. To Perryman. Running off him. Strong mark by Whitfield. Perryman playing his first game of the season after recovering from a hamstring injury. Here's Kelly marking and playing on quickly to Tom Green, who has a bounce. The Giants to centre half forward. Brent Daniels spots up Riccardi for the third time. In this first turn, they go to Jake Riccardi and finally he's taken a grab. And you'll kick this from 15 metres out, slight angle to the right.
Yeah, the forward handball and the bounce from half back from the Giants is very impressive to watch. And you call it, Garby, the Orange Tsunami. It's looking very, very dangerous and ominous. If you're a defender down there, you're in for a big day in your debut, Toby Pink. And as a defender and the forwards leading hard.
Jake Riccardi slots the opener. GWS 1 straight 6. North yet to score. We've got 4 minutes in the first term here at the Showground Stadium, and Jake Riccardi had a couple of chances to take a grab in a dangerous position, finally got hold of one, but they're doing it pretty easily at the moment, the Giants.
Yeah, it's too easy for mine. Their ability to actually get slingshot from half back, they're really cutting them up by hand in the middle of the ground, but the worry will be that forward line is looking very ominous, and it's coming in like that without any pressure. There was no pressure on the forward coming in. That it's too hard to defend it anyway, so no matter who you are.
I haven't spoken to you since Cal Brown's 5 for last week. What do you make of that?
Second quickest Irish man ever to play the game. Brownie, he's looking pretty special, isn't he? He's got that explosiveness, and
it's a tough matchup, isn't he?
Yeah, he is, because he's just as good on the ground. I just love his laconic nature. He's got a great personality to actually play the game.
Anyway, Riccardi has the first goal here for the Giants. Restart back in the middle. Briggs makes light work of Sherry. Kick was swung though by Sherry on the follow-up. Bounced the middle of Giants of the showground here as it's swerked away for Daniels. Got a high tackle down there from Darcy Tucker, and it will be penalised accordingly. I think Harry Sheasel thought it was going the other way, but it's going to be Daniels here for the Giants from half forward, wide now to Tom Green, who marked 65 from home. Options are plenty inside the arc. 5.5 play. Giants with the first goal. Going long to the pocket again. Spoil from Toby Pink. Kept alive down there by Hogan. Now it's come wide to Riccardi. Fires on goal from the pocket. Getting out the back, Callum Brown. Got some separation down there on Zach Fisher. And he clunks the overhead grab deep in the right forward pocket.
Yeah, it was nice body work. The kick was in his favour. I'm not sure Riccardi was going for the pass. Was he going for the goal? But you can see how he handles this piece. He hasn't done a whole lot of it. So will he go his left or will he try and snap it? It looks like he's going to snap on the left.
He'll go on the left. Opens up the angle here. Callum Brown and has just sneaked it through. I don't think he was convinced there. Golden Pie had some work to do, but the Giants have the first couple. 2 straight 12. North Melbourne are yet to score. 6 gone opening term. This is Grandstand AFL.
There's no energy whatsoever in the celebration, was there? It was just a given. That's a piece of it and that's it. But no matter what's happening in a game of football, you still got to celebrate the wins and celebrate what's going on, because it's a game of AFL football and you never know when it's going to be cut short with an injury or whatnot. So I'll be encouraging them to get around each other and enjoy the game.
Declan Byrne on the boundary.
The former Giant Aiden Cause has come off, blood streaming from his eyebrow, so he's going to head downstairs and get some attention.
Adam Kingsley coaching from the boundary this afternoon. He does variate it, sometimes up in the box, sometimes down there. Maybe he wanted to make sure there was no chance of complacency this afternoon.
He's had a lot of experience coaching, so I'm sure he'll have him red hot.
The way they've started, doesn't seem like that's going to be an issue. 2 straight 12, GWS, North Melbourne yet to score, and the Giants doing it easily as Luke Davies-Uniacke wraps up Steve Cornelio in the middle of the ground. Umpire will throw it up. Kieran Briggs just palms it down. Here's Sheasel, perhaps caught high by Briggs, certainly dumped, and that has to be a free kick. Overzealous from the Giants ruckman. It's his 28th game, Kieran Briggs, in his burgeoning career.
Western Sydney boy, and he's looked great last 18 months as that dominant ruckman.
Sheasel kicks it long, inside attacking 50. Taylor, what a matchup that's going to be this afternoon. Taylor and Larkey. Punches it away from Larkey. Here's Xavier O'Halloran in game 50. Couldn't collect. McKercher's first touch in AFL football. Gets a handball away to just set things up. And that's a clever kick from Sheasel to find Wardlaw at right half forward.
He's still 65 from goal, Wardlaw. They moved around 10 last year. One of those rising stars at North Melbourne. Loads up toward the teeth of goal. Big pack forms, and amongst it down there, Sam Taylor intercepts for the 3rd time in this opening quarter.
Is he playing with North Melbourne or what?
Lays off the hand pass. Lockie Ash goes rebounding off half back here on the bounce. It skids through for Fisher. North got on the overlap again. Hand pass comes to Wardlaw. Big entry here for North Melbourne. Taylor again taps it away in space. Josh Clear's mopping up in defence. Hand pass back to Buckley. He was good last week for the Giants. Inboard to Perryman, and they can rebound here again. It's marked by Callum Brown on the wing.
Well, he's dominating, Taylor. He would love this. He loves those battles, as you know, and up against Nick Larkey, the All-Australian full forward, he'd set himself even more, and he is dominating in the opening stages.
It's often challenging as a forward like Larkey. You don't want to get on his back shoulder when he's intercepting. Generally what you do in an intercept defender is get on their back shoulder as the forward and let him take you to the ball and beat him. It's hard as a leading forward, the main forward, and Larkey will want to try and get it, but you've got to get the ball to the ground.
Iden switched it to Ware, then Toby Green and Himmelberg. Lockie Ash was running off half back, but his kick is misguided, and Harry Sheasel, who's had plenty of it in the early stages, up to possession number 5, is marked in the left back pocket.
The reigning rising star drives it long beyond defensive 50. Out there with 2-on-2. Taylor again gets the separation on Larkey with another battle out there, Sam Taylor.
I'd be going back shoulder and I'm just not letting him mark the footy.
From that far wing here, pops the Giants high inside forward 50. Running start down there again from Hogan. He was too deep at the back. Pink stood it in defence there for North Melbourne. Daniels goes to soccer off the deck. Toby Green lurking as well. Ball in dispute. Coming in hard, Davies-Uniacke over around the ball now. It comes from out there, Harvey Thomas. And now a high kick from Tom Green. Bounce across the face of goal and out of bounds for a throw-in deep at left full forward for the Giants, who lead 2 straight 12. North Melbourne yet to score. 10 gone in the opening term. You're with Brett Sprigg, Daniel Garb, Ty Canelli, Declan Byrne on the boundary here on Grandstand AFL.
Sam Taylor, 4 marks, 3 of them contested in the opening 10 minutes. Amazing. Kieran Briggs wins it easily out of the ruck. Handball to Brent Daniels, and he spots up Jacob Ware. Just bounced in front of him on the half volley. Did well to gather it and try and spin out of trouble. Eventually Zach Fisher collects it, but his kick just favours Harry Himmelberg, who tracks back to get it on the wing with the bleached blonde hair. Handball inside to Iden. Checks around Larkey easily. Now Cornelio. Buckley, the Giants with plenty of time. Kicks GWS into attack. Cadman got in front of Pink, but Pink did well. The former rookie-listed Sydney Swan, making his AFL debut today, was able to punch it away from Cadman in the left back pocket over the line for a boundary throw-in.
Big day for Pink. His namesake is performing at the Stadium Australia across the way there tonight. Plenty of fans out and about already.
He's got a roaring red head, Pinky. So I coached him a bit when I was at the Swans for a while, so good lad. Bit of a different character, but it's great to see him get an opportunity, and old-age recruit.
Wardlaw broke a tackle out there of Callum Brown. Gets a hand pass back here all the way to Sheasel. Evades Cadman. Still alive here for Josh Gota, who debuted a couple of years ago. Kicks beyond defensive 50. It's intercepted by Jake Buckley for the Giants. Comes to half forward. Spilled by O'Halloran. Little kick inside 50. It wasn't 15. Green's kick was smothered out there as well. It was Tom Green. Out to Harvey Thomas. Now to his skipper in Toby, who snaps on the left and a little wide to the left hand side for a minor score. 2-1-13 the Giants. North are yet to score. 11.5 played the opening term here on Grandstand AFL. Toby Pink went from Swans rookie. He was on North's VFL list, then back to Glenelg SA, where he was picked up by the Roos last year.
Zach Fisher brings it back into play for North, and that's a strong mark by Zane Dersma. His first touch of the footy on an AFL field, pick 4 in last year's draft.
Great to see. Confident like that, mark in contest.
Excellent grab overhead at right half back. Drives it up the wing. Cutting across is Connor Ryden, slapping it over at the boundary line. It'll be thrown in at right half forward for North Melbourne. So the Giants 2-1-13, North yet to score. Disposals 59-38 in favour of GWS. It's been all one-way traffic so far.
And Taylor has had about 35 of them. They've had 5 inside 50s, and Taylor has marked 4 of them. That's North Melbourne.
Earlier, Essendon beat Hawthorn at the MCG by 24 points. More on that later, as it's brought away by Cornelio from the throw-in. Goes inside 50, out there with 2-on-2. Cadman floats across. Who is being held? No one. Nothing doing that time. Pink goes to gather here for North Melbourne. Off to another new blue in Fisher. On his left boot, goes beyond defensive 50. Himmelberg in the contest. Pressure from behind from Eddie Ford. It's ricocheted back here for Dylan Stevens, the former Swan. Goes up the line here for North Melbourne. Buckley makes a contest down there on Larkey. Brought away here for the president, Iden. And now Tom Green off a step. Goes up the outer wing again. Himmelberg, sweeping hand pass wide. Now they go inside forward 50, the Giants. And Hogan completes that little coast-to-coast effort. Hogan marks in the pocket, pops it in closer to Toby Green. The skipper marks on the chest here. 25 out, deep in the right forward pocket.
It had a few inside 50s, just haven't worked out. They weren't sharp in the connection as a group, but certainly were in that instance with Hogan on the turnover. It allowed the space in the forward 50 to move, and then North Melbourne defenders switched off, as they often will do, as young players inconsistent.
Toby Green, now a 3-time All-Australian. He's missed his second attempt at goal, this time a set shot. It's out of bounds on the full. Became a new dad recently, of course, to little Isla. It's always a life-changing thing. 2-1-13 the Giants it remains. North Melbourne yet to score. 13.5 played.
In a good way, Spriggy?
From experience? Mostly in a good way.
Sleeping well?
I'm getting there.
Colby McKercher has the football in his hands. Pick 2 in last year's draft. So a big day for North Melbourne fans watching McKercher and Zane Dersma in action for the first time. Already got Wardlaw and Sheasel that they love.
Oh, that's good.
Kirch's kick was almost marked by Dersma. He's got a leap and a half on him, doesn't he? Just couldn't quite grab that one. Perryman throws it on the boot. It's a torpedo-style effort, unintentionally, and landing in the midriff of Jake Riccardi, who read it beautifully in the air, was out in the fast lead. And Riccardi can kick from 45 out straight in front, looking for his second.
Yeah, Giants just setting up really well behind the ball in that instance. You know, it looked like Dersma was actually going to mark it, and Perryman, as he does, reading the play over the back of the pack, and he's got the ball on his boot and a bit of chaos ball in, and there's always a forward in front.
And a really strong finish to last season, Jake Riccardi. And that is a beautiful effort. Sails through 3-quarter post high for his second of the game. And GWS 3-1-19 are giving North some serious issues early on. They are yet to score, and we have gone 14.5 in the first term.
Yeah, how early do you pull the trigger and get someone behind the ball if you're North Melbourne? Trying to help out this backline who've had 12 inside 50s against them. You know, they're a young backline also, but nice finish. It'll be good for his confidence, Riccardi, if he can get a couple and kick a bag here. You know, he's got a beautiful kicking style. It's a set shot, and it's very powerful, but himself and Hogan and Cadman, there's the piece about when does Cadman take over the spot itself, and if he keeps putting himself front and centre and doing what he can, it's going to be hard to drop him.
The Giants with the first 19 points of the game. Well, yeah, Essendon by 24 at the MCG. 74,000 there, by the way, Saturday afternoon.
Oh.
Fantastic crowd. Round one, first couple of weeks of the season. They've had very good crowds, haven't they? Josh Kelly with the clearance here for the Giants. Off to O'Halloran inside 50 again, but getting across to intercept is Callum Dawson in the left back pocket.
Yeah, they've missed that one a lot. It's gone over the top of the leading forward. You almost want a second one coming in if you're the Giants, that is.
Void of options, North Melbourne. Dawson just kicks up to the wing. Tristan Xerri did well to make a contest. Now it's with Dylan Stevens, the former Swan. Works it up to Jaden Stevenson at half forward. He marks and keeps going on his left. Looks for an option in the pocket. Callum Coleman-Jones comes out to meet it. Paul Curtis roves it. Handball over the top. Zane Dersmer in his first AFL game. Kicks a major. And North's first of the afternoon. Welcome to the big time, youngster. They won't come much easier than that. From straight in front, running through to a vacant goal square. But he will cherish that moment. Zane Dersmer, his first of the game for North Melbourne, and the first of his, what will be, North Melbourne fans hope, an illustrious AFL career perhaps.
Yeah, it looks very exciting, doesn't he? So it's well played by Coleman-Jones, the contest itself. He got a free kick, he put Buckley under the pump, but he's working hard, Dersmer. He's putting himself in positions. It might be the easiest goal he'll ever kick in AFL football, but the fact he's in the position is one thing. The fact you talk about strikers in soccer being in the box and a rebound. Well, he's actually worked hard to get to that position himself. And the fact that we saw him here launch at a couple, take a mark. Very impressive start from the young man.
His brother Xavier, of course, having his club debut today for Essendon in that 24-point win. So,
do you split the family? What happens there?
So you got...
Who's the favourite? Mom? Dad?
It's a big afternoon. You've got the games back-to-back. So, of course, our sister Yasmin also plays or has played AFLW. So you've got XYZ in that Dersmer family, which was said, going inside forward 50. The north side go again here. Hand pass comes out off half-back. Mopped up for the Giants. Sweeping hand pass comes wide to Cornelio. They keep it moving, although Cornelio's hand pass is untidy. Stevenson mops up there for North Melbourne. Sends it back from whence it came. High ball towards half-forward. Zerha was being held down there. Was up in Buckley. Spilled out the back here. Iden. Handball comes to Thomas for the Giants in his second game, and it's marked by Whitfield here on the wing.
Whitfield wants to play on quickly. Spots up O'Halloran in game number 50 at left half forward. Usually makes something happen. That's a wonderful kick to Riccardi in the pocket. Didn't have to break stride. Marking overhead. And Jake Riccardi will snap this from the left forward pocket in search of goal number 3 in the first term.
Great ball movement, wasn't it? The finish itself for Halloran. We're looking for some polish with their entries, the Giants, and it was a nice lead by Riccardi. He laid double back to the pocket.
Riccardi runs around and pulls this one near side. So 2-1 for him. Xavier O'Halloran, he just seems to make something happen whenever he has the football. Doesn't get a whole lot of it, maybe only 10 to 15 touches a game. Whenever the ball's in his hand, something productive seems to occur.
His 50th game, by the way. It's a lesser-known milestone today, Xavier O'Halloran. Beyond defensive 50. Iden taps it down here off the contest. Kelly, his 200th game, off to Lockie Ash. Swings it wide. Sherry comes across. Cadman makes the contest late. On the overlap, here goes North Melbourne. Sherry again off to Davies Uniacke. Steps inside Ash, evades Iden. That was clean work from him. Hand pass wasn't clean, though. Picked up by Cornelio off half-back for the Giants. Buckley was taken down by Zerha. Umpire saw it. Free kick Giants at centre half-back.
Yeah, they had the opportunity, North. They were out. They were clean, just ran over the top of the football and allowed Buckley to get onto it. So you just got to be cleaner, and when you're going to get opportunities like this going forward, you've got to take them, and disappointing going forward there from North.
Giants by 14, 19 minutes gone first term.
Buckley chips it to Whitfield, just outside defensive 50 for GWS. It's cloudy at the Showground Stadium, so the lights are on. Whitfield's kick up to the wing. Callum Brown comes out to meet it, keeps his feet, and that allows him to collect it on the second effort. But excellent smother by Wardlaw.
Just
in
feel
front
like
of Callum Brown, knock it over for a boundary throw-in.
Sorry, Garby. Just feel like they're trying to be too cute with that inside kick. The Giants, you can go skinny, keep the ball boundary side. They got some big targets there. They've turned over a Lucky Ash, the last one. We saw Brown in that one.
Umpire heaves it back in. Sherry to the front. Cadman competes in the ruck with him. Davies Uniacke thumps it high inside 50 here for North Melbourne. Running on it, Larkey spills a simple grab. He's paid the mark, though, for a push from Sam Taylor. He's 55 from goal here, Nick Larkey. 71 goals from his 23 games last year. Doesn't go for goal here. In fact, Taylor swats it away from the mark as well. So it's in the pocket, gathered by Cadman. Giants here through Briggs. He's taken down there by Toby Pink. Got a hand pass, kept it alive. Tom Green couldn't quite keep it alive either for the Giants as Taylor goes in over the football, dragged down by Larkey again. This time the umpire says, give it to me. In the right forward pocket, it's the Giants who lead by 14 points. We just hit time on here in the first term.
So even when Larkey gets the better of Taylor, Taylor ends up smothering the kick. That's the way it's gone in the first term for the All-Australian full forward. Darcy Tucker's kick inside attacking 50 for North. A chance for them here. Himmelberg read it best.
Clever.
Slammed it on the foot. Found O'Halloran. He looks for Toby Green. Just worked his opponent off the football in Goda. Bit too smart for him there, but then lost his footing. Well done to the young Ruin, Josh Goda. Outsmarted Toby Green there. We know that's difficult to do. Bailey Scott marks at centre-half back. Gets the 1-2 going. And they work it out to the outer side. And young Colby McKercher.
Number 2 pick in last year's draft. The Tasmanian short kick to find Dylan Stevens. On out a wing here at the Sydney Showground. Giants by 14 points. Stevens works it all the way back to McKercher. And now Fisher. 3 new faces today for North Melbourne. Across half back they go to Josh Goda. And they'll switch back to the members' side. And they're taken here by Callum Coleman-Jones for North Melbourne. His kick trying to find the target down there. Waking the tackle is Zane Dersma. As their only goal so far for North. Now Pink goes inside forward, 50 for the visitors. Floating across Himmelberg. Second, third bite, couldn't reel it in. Hand pass comes wide here to Zerha. Brushes away the would-be tackler there in Jacob Ware. And snaps truly. In his 100th game, Cameron Zerha. In a contract season, that'll drive the price up. It's the margin of 8 points now. North have back-to-back goals. They're 2 straight 12. The Giants are 3-2-20. 22 played first term, grandstand AFL. Here's Ty Kennelly.
Yeah, just a drop mark. Himmelberg looked like he had it and he's dropped it. But I have seen a few signs from the Giants, just missed tackling and just not pressure, being too cute with it. You know, they didn't put them away when they had opportunities in this inside 50. And you got a young team like this get their wind up, a bit of confidence and kick a couple of goals, you know. So I stretch, there's no alarm bells, but there's just a couple of worrying signs from a Giants perspective as far as their attitude is concerned.
Look good the last 5 minutes or so, North Melbourne, as we go down to Declan Byrne on the boundary.
After about 10 minutes in the rooms, Aiden Corr's come back out with those butterfly stitches taped above his eye, so he's back out there now for North.
If you're a North fan, you're loving the work of Zane Dersma so far. Doesn't he look a footballer on debut? Briggs wins it easily in the ruck, throws it on the boot to centre-half forward. It goes. Sheasel reads it beautifully. Calm and collected, marks in front of Brent Daniels at centre-half back and immediately wants to get going. Does so to Wardlaw. Might just call those two names together a lot over the years. The kick from Fisher, though, and straight to Briggs, who was dropping into the hole at centre-half back. Looks for Finn Callaghan. He tucks it under the arm and goes. Kicks it to Harvey Thomas. Good mark by the youngster in his second AFL game. On his left, he looks for a man free in the pocket, and it's the red-hot man in the first term for the Giants, and Jake Riccardi, who is marked and will kick in search of his third goal from 20 out slide angle.
Yeah, well done, Giants. Well done, Finn Callaghan. Great to see him back, and he just took the ball under his arm, drove hard through the middle of the ground, and obviously hit up Harvey Thomas, who was able to have the polish and composure to hit Riccardi.
Riccardi's 4th mark of the first term, and now his 3rd goal. Slams it through, and he is the main man in attack for GWS in the first term. They are 4-2-26. North Melbourne 2 straight 12, and we've gone 24 minutes in the first quarter.
Yeah, well played, young Harvey Thomas. Had the luxury of coaching him last year in the academy, and obviously he's done well last week in his first game, and that's his ability to actually be composed outside 50, which the Giants have missed, actually, to tell you the truth, with their inside 50s. They've missed a lot of those connection kicks, gone over the top, so great composure, and it's good to see him getting some reward.
That's the thing about the Giants, the avenues to goal. So you've got guys who can kick bags like Hogan, Riccardi, Callum Brown last week. Then they're small guys, Toby Green, Toby Bedford, Brent Daniels. Their avenues are plenty to goal, aren't they?
And it's great to see a player like Riccardi, you know. So the other forwards are going, well, you know what, he's hot. Let's leave him away at the top of the goal square, and I'll play a high. Toby Green's playing a highest forward almost with Daniels.
Riccardi was goalless last week against the Pies. 3 early ones here Clearance goes the way of North Melbourne. Davies-Uniacke was dumped by Whitfield. Umpire lets them play. Tom Green bursts through. Hand pass goes to Stevenson. He was brought down there by Kieran Briggs, the bigger man. And it's at half forward here for North Melbourne, waiting for it to come clear. Again, the umpire's just hovering. Whitfield slaps it away here. Camilio combines with Daniels, who was pushed off the kick. Good defence effort it was from Wardlaw. Hand pass comes away from Sheasel, wide to the wing. Fisher nurses it around the corner. Himmelberg, though, intercepts in front of Zerha at right half back for the Giants. Umpire will come back and set the mark in front of some empty top tiers of those grandstands. It was packed here last week, 22,000. It's rare that happens. A bit more of an average showground crowd here. The Giants lead by 14 points.
It's a good battle. Himmelberg and Zerha. Looks like a punk rock band. Himmelberg's hair and Zerha's tattoos. Tom Green roves it on the wing. Handball inboard to Callum Brown. They kick into attack. Hogan leaps and marks. Too easy there for GWS. Jesse Hogan will kick from 45 out on the angle, fresh off 4 goals in the season opener last week.
Yeah, they were queuing up behind the ball out the back in that instance, and there was Bedford, Riccardi and Hogan got a nice little ride on the kick. It was 3 goals now from stoppages, so got to tighten up. North Melbourne around it.
What an impact he had against the Pies on this ground last Saturday night, Jesse Hogan. Reminded everyone he is one of the very best key forwards in the competition. That kick, though, not one of his best. Misses on the near side. So the Giants, 4-3-27. North Melbourne, 2 straight 12. Late stages of the first term.
They'd be okay. They'd be happy, North. They had a good patch of 10, 12 minutes. The Giants just really fell asleep a small bit, so I think they'll be happy going in at quarter time.
Kircher with the kick out on debut for the Kangaroos. High towards the outer side. Zerha was being held and wins the free kick accordingly. I often see a debutant taking the kick outs, do you? Kick ins. A reliable left boot, though, Copy McKercher. On this occasion, Zerha at left half back, defensive side of the wing. Up the line he comes. Larky in from the side. Ash mops up in defence here for the Giants. Works it all the way back. Perryman steadies and kicks to find Whitfield. Had plenty of ball last week against the Pies. Switches back to the members' wing. On the bounce for Callum Brown. Looks for options towards half-back, and now Thomas comes it up the line here. Missed Lockie Ash. Unkind bounce to Wardlaw, though, for the Roos. Canelio traps it now for the Giants. Ash kept running, receives the hand pass. Off to Whitfield, and his kick is a turnover straight to Toby Pink at right half-back for North Melbourne. The Giants 4-3. Kangaroos 2 straight, 28 on opening term.
Canelio just standing up in that tackle. It was like he wasn't there. Like he was like a little kid just tackling him, and his ability to strong hips, as we know, but composure to hold on to that ball and release the handball to Thomas, I think.
Speaking of composure, Colby McKercher, his first quarter of AFL footy, marking it at right half back and just directing traffic, telling his elder statesman teammates just to settle down, almost quarter time. And he's up to 7 disposals in the first quarter, McKercher. As Taylor cuts across Larky again, he has dominated him in the first term. Briggs throws it on the boot. Green comes out to meet it. Final seconds of the first term. Toby Pink's under pressure. Now McKercher's got it again. In his own defensive 50, needs to find a target. And does with a wonderful kick to Bailey Scott. Siren went anyway. Some pleasing signs for North Melbourne. The likes of McKercher and Dersma looking more than lively in the first term. They trail, though, by 15 points. GWS 4-3-27. North Melbourne 2 straight 12.
Jake Riccardi with 3 goals for the Giants, and Callum Brown has the other, fresh off his 5 goals last week. While for North Melbourne, Zane Dersma kicked there first of the afternoon. Of course, his first goal on his debut this afternoon. And Cameron Zerha, his 100th AFL game, also on the board for North Melbourne. 15 points the margin at the first change across ABC Radio, News Radio, and of course the ABC Listen app. This is Grandstand AFL.
Hello, I'm Patrick Stack, and if you like great stories and you enjoy sport, then I reckon you need ABC Sport Daily in your life.
In terms of an apprenticeship to serve in international rugby, well, that World Cup was a pretty difficult one.
At the risk of making the same mistake twice, I do think a 4-peat might just be a little bit beyond them.
Even the coaches allow themselves to be happy and just soak in the moment of history.
It's a daily sports conversation, and it's called ABC Sport Daily. Find us on the ABC Listen app.
This is ABC Sports coverage of the 2024 AFL season. Every match on the ABC Listen app.
Look for the AFL button.
The Giants, the centre half forward, Brent Daniels spots up Riccardi for the third time. In this first turn, they go to Jake Riccardi, and finally he's taken a grab, and he'll kick this from 15 metres out, slight angle to the right. Jake Riccardi slots the opener. Perryman throws it on the boot. It's a torpedo-style effort, unintentionally, and landing in the midriff of Jake Riccardi, who read it beautifully in the air, was out in the fast lead. A really strong finish to last season, Jake Riccardi, and that is a beautiful effort. Sails through three-quarter post high for his second of the game. Callum Coleman-Jones comes out to meet it. Paul Curtis roves it. Hamble over the top. Zane Dersmer in his first AFL game kicks the major. And North's first of the afternoon. Welcome to the big time, youngster. They won't come much easier than that.
And pass comes wide into Zerha. Brushes away the would-be tackler there in Jacob Ware. And snaps truly in his 100th game. Cameron Zerha. In a contract season, that'll drive the price up.
Kicks it to Harvey Thomas. Good mark on the youngster. In his second AFL game. On his left, he looks for a man free in the pocket. And it's the red-hot man in the first term for the Giants, and Jake Riccardi. Riccardi's fourth mark of the first term, and now his third goal.
The 2024 AFL Premiership season.
On your radio.
ABC Sport Digital.
And on the ABC Listen app.
Quarter time at the showground, and Greater Western Sydney leads North Melbourne by 15 points. 4-3-27 plays 2 straight 12. Earlier at the Melbourne Cricket Ground, Essendon 17-507 beat Hawthorn 11-17-83. It was a seesawing game. Melbourne's prevailing there by 24 points. Coming up later on, most of you on local radio will hear Geelong versus St Kilda at New Park, while if you're listening through South Australia or local radio Gold Coast, you'll have the footy from Carrara, the Suns and the Crows, our 2 Saturday night games. Of course, you can find either game on the ABC Listen app. Just look for the ABC AFL or AFL Extra button. And of course, we'll keep you company here in the Harbour City for the remaining 3 quarters here. The Giants by 15 points. Brett Sprigg alongside Daniel Garb, and your expert on Grandstand AFL is Premiership Swan Ty Kennelly. What's going on here?
I don't know.
We've got a bloke who's doing they have like an activation where you've got to try to
beat the fence.
Chase. Who are they chasing? Lockie Whitfield, and Lockie Whitfield over 120 metres has beaten the
I didn't fancy his chances with a pair of jeans.
They do some fun things.
Yeah.
The Giants are doing fun things as well. 15-point leaders. What do you make of the opening term?
Yeah, look, they're impressive with their ball move. When you can see their ability actually off half-back to bounce, they're very impressive with the speed at forward handball. The disconnection with a couple of injuries is probably what's cost them. They could be far ahead. They slipped off for about 10 minutes in the game, and to be fair to North, they looked impressive. And the younger boys, like McKerch, obviously have 9 disposals in his first quarter of AFL football. It's very, very impressive. And Dersman is the other one to kick a goal in debut and look strong. The worrying piece is the ease of which Giants were getting the ball inside 50, and they were just missing him. Eventually, that damn wall, they'll hit him, and it'll open up for him. Riccardi looks good forward of the ball from Cornelius getting his hands in the ball. But it's impressive to watch North, a young team that is 17th last year, and the players that have come in, they're going to get some game time, and it's a lot of positive signs. I'm more happier with the North Melbourne, the way they've played that first quarter of football and what we saw.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a North Melbourne fan, you'd be talking right now about McKercher and how composed he looks, and Dersmer as well, and George Wardlaw, 7 touches for him. Harry Sheasel, I mean, it's easy to forget about him because we spoke about him so much last season, but 8 disposals, and he's a general down back. But the Giants have that 15-point lead. Tom Green, 11 disposals, 4 score involvements. Cornelio with 9, Whitfield with 7. Sam Taylor, superb down back. He has kept Nick Larkey to just the 2 disposals, and he was ineffective really with both of those. Taylor with 3 contested marks and 4 marks in total playing on Larkey. Jake Riccardi, 3 goals, 5 score involvements. So he's been the man that has found a lot of space inside attacking 50, and the likes of Hogan and Toby Green have said, we'll just keep hitting him up if he's got that much real estate around him.
And it's interesting, the Taylors, all these possessions have been intercept possessions. Of the 5 of them, there have been 5 intercept possessions. You talk about maybe trying to get Larkey off him and get a defensive forward on Taylor, because he's really had a huge influence for 15 minutes in that game where North were struggling. They still had 11 inside 50, or 16 inside 50s, that is, North, so they outnumbered inside 50s. But when you got a player like Taylor intercepting him, just got to get that ball to the ground and stop the influence, because you're working that hard to get it into a forward 50. It's very disappointing when a key defender intercepts it.
No, it's still +5 the Giants. But how many intercepts would he have taken those 11 inside 50s, Taylor?
5.
5, yeah. So there you go. Giants by 15 points. Into the second term we go. Briggs v Sherry. Sherry gets there first. Can't win the clearance though, North Melbourne. In fact, Tom Green was shoved the deck here as they try to get it going through Charlie Lazaro. North Melbourne. Ball in dispute. Whitfield run down. He was dumped by Sherry, and the umpire says holding the ball.
A couple of strong tackles from him to start the second quarter. He turned Tom Green upside down and then went after Whitfield. So well done from the ruckman.
Sherry off to Sheasel, bursting by. Neat kick inside 50. Floating across though. Perryman intercepts for the Giants. He marks between half-back and full-back and now swings it out to the members' wing.
And Bedford with the leap. Couldn't quite bring it down. Tom Green's there though. Typical strength. Handball to Whitfield and out to Josh Kelly. Kick on his right. The two milestone men combined. Kelly in game 200. Spots up O'Halloran in game number 50. Marking on his knees. Is inboard to Perryman. He's recovered from that hamstring injury. His first game of the season. Toby Green with the leap at half forward. Had the sit. Marked it. Played on. And with a cute kick, looks for Daniels in the left forward pocket. He just taps it to Ware. Ware tapped it back to Daniels.
Get in.
He'll move around on the right and just drifted across the face of goal for A behind. That was Harlem Globetrotter stuff from the Giants.
Chance of goal of the year, the way they were playing, and Toby's probably been too cute, but it was a nice knock on from Bedford as well. But it started here with Tom's Green ability to win a ball he shouldn't have won. But good to see Toby flying and have a bit of excitement.
McKercher gives it off here with Callum Dawson. Little 1-2 hand pass, and McKercher's kick goes long in the middle of the showground. Picked off here by Connor Iden. The Giants win the footy back. Cornelio received that spearing ball. Goes back to Iden on the outer wing. Giants by 16 points. Everything but the finish on that occasion from the Giants. A good team goal
50.
as we're seeing Curtis overstep the mark here on the Tom Green mark on the outer wing. So with that bit of encroaching, it will bring the Giants midfield ball within range.
He's had a slow start to the season, hasn't he, Tom?
My Brownlow tip.
Yes. I hope he'll win a couple. That kid can get his hands on the ball, and he's a baby. Honestly, he's what's he got? 13 disposals, 5 kicks, 8 handballs, 5 contested, and
5 score involvements.
He's about to kick a goal.
He's a fair shot for a goal here. He's going to be 30 metres out, an angle better than 45 degrees on the left-hand side of the field.
His biggest decision is which foot he's going to kick it with here as he's running in. I'd love to know what goes through players with 2 feet. Well, everyone's got 2 feet. But
on the approach, 35, and Tom Green slots it.
We know what you meant.
So he was marked 50 and takes full advantage of that. Extends it now to a game-high lead of 22 points the Giants' way. 5-4-34. North Melbourne 2 straight 12. 3 go on second term. This is Grandstand AFL across ABC Sport, News Radio, and the ABC Listen app.
Yeah, you can't be giving up basic mistakes like that. Young Curtis, on the mark. It's hard enough to try and defend a team that are going pretty quick through the middle of the ground. You give them easy free kicks, 50s like that, and they're going to take it. The quality of Tom Green, and they certainly ripped the season apart thus far in 2 games. I'm really looking forward to the impact he's going to have in the competition.
He's an interesting character. Like, his reputation is building in a massive way. A lot of people think he could be a top 5 player in the game before too long. He might be just about there already. He's got a new podcast with the Giants. He doesn't mind all the attention and everything said about him. Maybe in the past young players have been shielded from that, but he'll welcome it and he'll say, I'm happy to back it all up.
And it's a great piece. It's a great piece, Gabby, about the Giants themselves, the promotion, the marketing piece, and the marketing team, media team being outstanding with it.
Giants up by 22 points. North go inside 50 though. Here's Curtis roving it nicely and snapping on his left from 40 out.
Yeah.
Beautiful efforts. Wonderful goal. The epitome of a forward 50 rover there, Paul Curtis. Read it beautifully, found some space and snapped true on his left from 45 out.
Epitome of owning your team, a goal from the free kick 50 that he just gave. You really want to respond with the next entry, and it was great. Crum, he was playing as a high half forward, nice and clean. He's ran on the inside the field on his left foot, beautiful snap, and he was probably 45 out, so it's not an easy one, and a bit of pressure on him, but he was clean and nice finish.
Immediate reply from Paul Curtis and North Melbourne. The margin back to 16 points. Speaking about the Giants and their promotion, I did see, actually, glancing across the press box, their social media head, Jacob Gaynor, was doing some sort of illustrative, like a photo shoot. Now, I don't know how I feel about seeing club staffers in the media department doing photo shoots.
He's just about the biggest social media person in the game.
Yeah, Briggs, the middle here, down towards Cornelio. Towed it forward here for Tom Green. Fires the hand pass back to the veteran West Australian. With a bounce, Cornelio on the outer wing. Goes on the entry again, leading up. Cadman controls the chest mark, 40 out directly in front.
You're just beating on the spread from the stoppage itself. Again, the midfield group of Cornelio, and it's a nice entry, isn't it, to Cadman? You'd love that delivery coming at him, and it looked like they've opened up the front of the stoppage because there's an issue from the first quarter of the Giants where they just weren't getting the connection in the inside 50. Open it up, which allowed Cadman to run through the space in front.
Might have been a North player, Aaron Cadman. Of course, number one pick traded to the Giants, which they used to take him. New contract end of last year for another couple of years. Number one pick of a couple of years ago. Cadman makes no mistake with a set shot. The Giants pull it back again. Margin 22. 6-4 plays 3 straight. 6.5 minutes played. Second turn. This is Grandstand AFL.
Yeah, he's the key future, obviously, to the football club, the Giants. And, 20 years of age. Played 15 as the right games close to. He's the one you want to get another 10, 15 games into him and back into this season. Really see him flourish when he's that early peak, and his ability as a forward. He's looking fitter and stronger than he's ever been. So, and with a forward line and a midfield group that's coming fast, he's going to get lots of opportunities in front of goal.
It was obvious last year that he was underdone as far as having experience against bigger bodies. And I know you've been in the pathways development players for a long time, Tig, but you're getting games into them, but you know they're going to be competing in those one-on-ones quite as strong as until later on.
That's right, and that's the challenge North Melbourne supporters and fans are going to have to deal with it. You know it's coming, but you can see the signs, and you see passages like you saw in the first 20 minutes of the game. It's positive.
Giants lead by 22 points. North go inside 50, though. Coleman Jones comes out to meet it. Buckley just punches it away from the contest, and it sits up beautifully for Jacob Ware on the outer side. Gets onto his left, kicks it up the wing, bounces nicely for Brent Daniels. Handball to Kelly. They go the 1-2. Daniels gets it back, throws it on the outside of his right boot. High ball to Hogan at half forward. Too strong for Toby Pink. Marked over his head, 60 out. Plays on now, looking for Cadman and finding him. Marking just next to the goal square. A chance for him to kick 2 goals in the matter of 2 minutes and get the Giants out to a 28-point lead.
It was an ugly mongrel kick forward, and Hogan's ability to read the ball ahead of a Pink who's not a kid, he's 25, he's mature, but Jesse's composure to actually read the flight of that ball and then look forward with Cadman at the top of the square.
Cadman looking for back-to-back goals and finding them. No trouble from there. GWS 7-4-46. North Melbourne 3 straight 18. The lead out to 28. Cadman with 2. And it's not a bad side when you missed out in a grand final by a point and you bring in the number 1 draft pick into the team. You couldn't make that side last year, and he's got back-to-back goals in the second game of the season and looking a different player altogether.
The matchup's the problem, obviously. He's ended up on Fisher in that instance through a mismatch in the goal square, so, and that's off the ability of Jesse Hogan to mark the ball strong in a 1v1, but he's always going to mark on a Fisher. You just really need a defender to come across and help out in that instance, which I think it was Dylan Stevens as the winger.
On the boundary, Declan Byrne.
I don't know if it looks the same up there, but on ground level, it is flowing from end to end so quickly. The Giants might kick 25-plus goals today if they keep it this rate.
Well, I can feel the breeze in here only because the aircon's blaring, which it wasn't last week. Ben Cameron was sweating up a storm in the box next to me. Davies Uniac wins the clearance here for North Melbourne. High ball down the corridor he goes. A little too deep it was as Taylor intercepts again for the Giants. All-Australian 2 years ago. Missed out last year. Put his name back in the frame again, Sam Taylor. Short kick to Connor Iden in the right back pocket. Another chip pass to Lockie Ash.
Yeah, stiff last year, All-Australian. God, he's by far from mine anyway.
And I reckon Nick Larkey's thinking right now, my goodness, that man deserved to blazer last season.
And he's shown that, doesn't he? All-Australian full forward.
He is giving Larkey, for the absence of a better term, a bath right now. Destroying him in that one-on-one contest. Well done by Wardlaw, though. He was just zoned across his own half-back line to mark, but his kick is turned over to Jake Riccardi, who has 3 goals to his name. He's just pinch hitting in the ruck for the moment, with Kieran Briggs having a break. Giants leading by 28 points. Cornelio happy to slow things down on his own defensive 50 line. Spots up Buckley. That kick's a little bit sloppy in front of Riccardi. There's Zane Dersma collecting it, though. Handball to Stevens. North have it on the outer wing. Free kick to Dylan Stevens for a push in the back. And the umpire allows play to go on. Stevens, the kick looking for Larkey. Taylor works him under the football again. Perryman tracks it. Eddie Ford picks it up though. His handball is sharked by Ash. Ford gets it back though. Curtis finds Larkey, and Larkey gets an easy one from the goal square. He needed that for his confidence. It's the only way he was getting away from Sam Taylor. But Larkey's on the board. North of 4 straight, 24. The Giants 7-4, 46. GWS lead by 22 points, and we've gone 10 minutes in the second quarter.
Yeah, bit of fortune there for mine. You know, Ash looked like they'd actually cleaned it up. He ran into Taylor and the ball's bounced out of his hands into Curtis's hands. And Larkey, who ducked out the back of the contest, gets an easy one. Phil Taylor, I was going to say.
The power.
The power is good. It's a good tarts break. He'll probably do it, Sam, the way he's playing at the moment. But yeah, he'll be pretty filthy at that. But he did kick 71 goals last year, Larkey.
You can text us throughout the day, throughout the weekend, throughout the season. 0437 774 774. Don't forget to add your name across the ABC Sport Grandstand AFL network. Restart back in the middle. Tom Green was dumped again by Tristan Sherry. Wardlaw off here. His hand pass was picked off by Ware. I'll try again here through McKercher. His kick's a turnover as well. Ash bursts away. He gets away from the despairing dive from Davies Uniacke. In fact, he's going to penalise him here. He'll say because Davies Uniacke made a tackle, little ankle tap there on Lockie Ash. He effectively ran too far. He's paid holding the ball. Because there was some attempt made in the tackle.
If you hold on to the jumper, it's a tackle while he jumped.
Yeah, he bounced as he got the... Yeah.
But he actually didn't get hold of the jumper. He's touched the jumper. So if that's a tackle...
So LDU winds up inside 50 here for North Melbourne. Larkey's a couple deep. Taylor goes up in defence here, slaps it away towards O'Halloran. He's lost the footy. Wardlaw, not 15. Play on here, says the umpires. It comes now back to Davies Uniacke. And now Sheasel lets fly from 55. It's right to the goal square now. Off a couple of sets of hands. They'll rebound the ball through Himmelberg, and he's out of bounds on the full. So North get the footy back. 45 out from goal. They trail by 22 points. 12 goals, second term here in Sydney.
Yeah, Himmelberg was looking for a push in the back on the exit kick.
I mean, they're up by 22 points, but there's been a few signs that GWS have perhaps been a little too casual or cute at stages in this game so far.
Yeah, there has, and that's probably the worry if you're not inconsistent.
Here's Tom Powell. Sets it up to the top of the goal square, off hands. Larkey's there, throws it on the boot. Himmelberg gathers it. Gets it off to Jacob Ware in the left back pocket. The kick looking for Toby Green. Try to bump Bailey Scott off the football. Been quiet so far, the Giants captain. North win it back. And they go inside attacking 50 for Stevenson. Marks on the second attempt. Controlled it well. Himmelberg missed the spoil. He's claiming he got a hand to it, Harry Himmelberg. Umpire ignores that protest. And Stevenson will kick from 45 out on an angle to the right.
Yeah, he's having a few conversations with the umpires in the last couple of minutes, but good turnover in the front half of the ground for North Melbourne. You know, Toby was beaten in a 1v1 again. It's the last couple, which doesn't happen, and it's probably the fact that he's not getting much sleep and he's just had a newborn baby, and we all know about that.
Stevenson, the former Magpie, another one of the North Melbourne players to opt for the shaved head look coming into season 2024. Kicks nicely, drilled it low and straight through the middle. So Jaden Stevenson's on the board, and North needed that one. All of a sudden the margin back to 16 points. GWS 7-4, 46. North kicking accurately, 5 straight 30. 13 and a half gone in the second quarter.
It's just a worry is the forwards themselves not working hard enough to get to the contest from the Giants' perspective on the exit. You know, to leave Toby 1v3 and then not being set behind the ball from a defensive perspective is the concern, you know. But well done, North Melbourne. You know, they're taking the opportunities in front of them, and again, young men, you know, Bailey Scott and Stevenson's been around for a while, but good signs the fact that they keep adding in. They're not folding whatsoever.
The unmistakable voice of Ty Kennelly on Grandstand AFL. 16 points, now the Giants lead. It's been cut back here by the Kangaroos. Back-to-back majors for the visitors. From the restart, Coleman Jones. It's down to Lazaro. Get some support there as well from Tom Powell. Lazaro kicks towards half forward. Mark dropped by Perry in defence for the Giants. Socket forward here for Tom Green. Just thumps it high inside 50. Big spiralling ball. Northern numbers in defence. It's off Hogan's chest. And now Lazaro at the drop here for North Melbourne. Comes all the way back to Darcy Tucker, the former Docker, and McKercher's kick partly smothered. Little hand pass back from the former Tiger Coleman Jones. And now McKercher again finds Wardlaw on the wing. And he's dumped after the fact by his opposite number in Whitfield. And that will be 50.
I reckon Harvey Thomas called the touch ball on the kick itself, and the two players in Whitfield and Callaghan were actually all over it thinking it was a touch ball.
So that marches Wardlaw not quite within range. She'll be 65 from goal at the scoreboard end here. But they are looking a little more dangerous in this second term, North Melbourne. Only midway through the second quarter. Wardlaw's kick high to the hot spot here. Top of the square. Larkey goes up. So too Curtis. He's brought down there by Jacob Ware. Larkey extracts the footy. Needs some support. Little 1-2 hand pass as he was had Stevens in support. And he's run down here, and that will be a free kick going Larkey's way. So Taylor gives away the free kick, and Nick Larkey, just with that goal a short time ago, finding his way back in the game here for North Melbourne. Declan Byrne, down to you quickly.
The two umpires who were closer to it called play on. That was the furthest one away.
Jacob
that came
Mollison,
in.
So Nick Larkey lining up here for his second goal, and to cut the margin back to just 10 points. On the approach, it's straight and true. So after Taylor the better on early on, Nick Larkey is, as I say, finding his way in this game. The Giants by 10 points, 7-4-46, plays 6 straight 36, 16.5 played second term grandstand AFL.
A bit of fortune there on the wing here. For mine, it was touched. They got the 50, but, you know, again, it's your ability to actually compete. It looked like they got hold of the situation, the Giants, but North Melbourne's ability to actually convert. Obviously, kicking 6 straight away from home, it's a good start to you. And that's what you want to try and do when you play away from home, is kick straight. And, Larkey took the game on. He's had a slow start, but it's amazing what a goal can do for your confidence. And it was sloppy from Callum.
And Colby McKercher helped set that up from half-back. Found Wardlaw, who then got the 50. 12 disposals for McKercher in his first game of AFL football, the number 2 draft pick from last year, at 100% effective disposal. So has not made a mistake yet. Amazing. Kieran Briggs wins it easy out of the ruck. The kick to centre half forward is marked by Toby Green, who has barely been seen so far, the Giants captain, and he says, I wouldn't mind the opportunity to have a shot at goal. Tells everyone around him to settle down. He'll kick from 55. We know he's got the distance. Just the 4 touches so far, and the one behind for Toby Green. Kicked a couple big goals against Collingwood last week. Outside of that, though, didn't have a whole heap of the football. So by the loftiest of standards that you can apply to an AFL player, which we do to Toby Green, maybe just a quiet start in the very early stages of this season. This might get him going, though, in this one. It looks very good. It's touched on the line, and I think the umpire might have a look at this on the review. North Melbourne players seem pretty confident. They want the ball back to take the kick in, and the Giants are setting up as well. So it seems most likely it'll be a rush behind. We'll wait for the arc to have a look at it.
On the review, looks like it's touched, but is it behind the post or not? I'm actually not sure.
That's at least touched on the line. So
the Giants will go to 7-5-47. North Melbourne 6 straight 36.
But it won't stress
just 11 points.
It won't stress the captain off the impact that he's not having. As long as the team are doing what they're doing and winning in the system, when you need him, he's a bloke that will step up, and that's his piece. And I'm sure he's happy to take second fiddle for a while to Cadman and McCarty and these blokes. But when they need him, guess what? He'll be there.
Buckley intercepts on the wing here for the Giants. Short kick to Josh Kelly.
It's a lovely isolated space now. Toby Green to kick to it if Josh Kelly can see it.
Kelly's got good vision. Good kick as well. High ball inside forward. 50. Up goes Riccardi again. At the drop, though, North had numbers around the football in defence. Wardlaw's kick chopped off by a hand pass, chopped off by Kelly. The umpire says holding the ball. So he just wanted that attempt from Wardlaw to get the footy away. And Josh Kelly is a little closer to home here. He's 55 out.
He's good enough to kick it
on his preferred left side. Sends it to the top of the square. And this is going to be a free kick going the Giants' way.
Hogan.
Pink was tangled up down there with Hogan. It's going to be Jesse Hogan's free kick.
Yeah, it's a bit of an experience from Toby Pink, obviously, in that long ball. It looked like they had it covered, North Melbourne, with intercept mark from Stevenson, but just was all over Hogan, and a player of his experience is going to milk it, but he's also got to put himself in a position to worry the defender out, and that's exactly what happened to Toby Pink in that instance.
Needing a second-term settler here, the Giants. Up North have closed the gap to, that was 10 points, now 11 points. Jesse Hogan, slight angle to the left here, is only 15 metres out, and he just nurses it through. His first goal of the afternoon. The Giants are out to 8-5-53. North Melbourne 6 straight 36. We're about to hit time on here in the second term on Grandstand AFL via ABC Sport.
He's looked very good, though. He's looked great. And the fact that he's the one for mine, he'll be a huge loss for the Giants if anything were to happen to him, but his movement is great. He's not a young man anymore, but his value to the team forward is immense to this group as far as their bigger picture is concerned going forward, but as a forward you always want to get on the scoreboard, obviously, so he's had 7 disposals, 1 goal, 1, so he'll be happy with that.
17 points the Giants lead by, and the balance of play, it feels like they should be up by a lot more, but North are just keeping at them. Whenever the Giants get a little bit lazy or lackadaisical perhaps, they are taking their opportunities, North Melbourne. So an exciting game of footy here in the west of Sydney. Xavier O'Halloran wins it out of the middle for the Giants. Tumbling ball to centre half forward. Harvey Thomas does well to trap it. He looms as a very clever footballer. That's a good tackle by Sheasel on Brent Daniels. Ball up centre half forward for GWS. 9 disposals Harvey Thomas last week on debut. 3 goal assists. Another one who makes something happen when he gets the ball in his hands. Well won by Tom Green again. Handball from Whitfield to Josh Kelly. High ball inside 50. Cadman came out to meet it. There's a whistle on the play. Umpire almost got collected, so I don't know which way he's going to point. It is to North Melbourne.
There
we'll go to
up, didn't he?
young Callan Dawson back there.
Sorry, Gabby.
Or Gota, sorry, it is. Josh Gota.
Gota to Sheasel. Exits defensive 50 with a kick. It's through the hands of Pink, but he gets the hand pass back here from Stevens. Goes high ball towards 50, and Larkey and Taylor were out there. The umpire spotted a free kick for a high tackle, as it was Taylor.
No, he's all conscious of it. Sorry, Spriggy. Larkey, he's so conscious of Taylor in every contest. He's looking for the body instead of flying for it.
Didn't look like much there, though. The Giants bring it away off half back. Connor Iden sends his kick towards 50. Up goes Cadman. Couldn't pull in the grab. Rebounded here by the Kangaroos. Again, it comes middle of the ground for Wardlaw. Right near the bullseye. 17 points is the Giants' lead.
Wardlaw with his 12th disposal. Taylor leaps again. Didn't get a full fist on it. So the ball's still bouncing and attacking 50 for North Melbourne. Whitfield's first there. Gets it to Asher, and his legs taken out by Zerha. The kick, though, was effective to Ware. And now Finn Callaghan. At right half back for the Giants. Recovered from that shoulder injury, suffered in the pre-season, and then stepped on a nail on Bondi Beach. That put him in doubt for this game. Recovered sufficiently, though. Hits up Daniels in the middle of the ground. Himmelberg's running off half back. The kick to Riccardi in the pocket, off the hands of Riccardi. Toby Green gathers. Little handball to Bedford, still inside attacking 50 for the Giants. Sheasel's there yet again, and he spots up Bailey Scott.
Scott turns his kick around the southern wing. Ball in dispute now. Green, it's Tom for the Giants, mops it up. Gets a hand pass off to Finn Callaghan. He was dumped in the Wardlaw tackle. Loose footy again. Lazaro receives a footy on the overlap here for North Melbourne. Goes inside forward 50 and back there inside 50. The grab is taken down there by Eddie Ford. And he will line up his kick from 30 out on a 45-degree angle.
Great pressure. It's great pressure to see from a young football team, their ability to want to get after players, defensive side of the game for them. There's obviously other ways to score goals, but to turn the ball over on your front half, it's the quickest and easiest way to score because opposition are not set behind the ball. And we saw that instance. The Giants, we know, want to handball forward and handball fast. Great pressure on the ball and allows Ford an easy shot.
14 games, 12 goals last year for Eddie Ford. Lines it up here from mid-range, and he sneaks it through. So North close the gap yet again. Margin back to 11 as we approach half-time. GWS 8-5-53. The Kangaroos are a perfect 7 straight 42.
it's just come out of the forward line too easy. It started with the pressure from the D50 itself with Toby Green in the handball and Bedford just messing around with the ball in their back half, and it looked like they were going to turn it over, but their ability to fight and scratch in the middle of the ground, Taylor got his hands on the ball in the spot, but they pressured Green, they pressured that forward handball. I think it was Callahan that time, and it's really good signs.
Jacob Ware makes his way to the bench with a bit of blood on his body.
And then the tackle number is 23-8 North Melbourne's way, so you clearly say they've got an appetite to get after the Giants, and very pleased if you're the coaching staff and the supporters watching what you're seeing from a North Melbourne perspective.
And Adam Kingsley might be a little bit frustrated. His team's playing well, but they've had the chance to put North Melbourne away by half-time and haven't taken it, and they've been exploited the other way, and they might be again. One by Sherry out of the ruck. Tom Powell throws it on the boot. High ball to centre half forward and marked by Dersma. Doesn't this kid read the ball in the air superbly? In his first game, Zane Dersma, already with a goal to his name. He'll kick from 50 out, having taken the overhead mark floating across the pack.
Wow, what a sight from a young man, and his confidence to go and launch and come across, and that's off Himmelberg, who had no body whatsoever on the young forward. Great to see. Let's see if he can finish it.
You can see why he was taken with pick 4 in last year's draft. That is a wonderful kick. Dersma's got 2, and North Melbourne are back within 5 points. GWS 8-5-53, the Kangaroos 8 straight 48, and it's young talent time already. McKercher, Wardlaw, Sheasel, and now Dersma with a couple on debut, getting North back within a straight kick. Just get down to Declan on the boundary.
And confirmation he is the favourite child today. His parents were here for that jersey presentation.
First AFL game versus, change of club. I can understand that. But they've kicked 5 of the past 6 times in the game now.
Yeah, they've the pressure is the one for mine, and that centre clearance itself is an example of it. They didn't mess around. They put pressure on the opposition. Paul was out to get his hands in it, and if you're off at all in this competition in AFL, a couple of percent, you can get done. And that seems what's happened for the Giants.
Going their way as well, North Melbourne. Sherry was taken high. Lays off the hand pass to Sheasel. Wastes no time. High raking ball inside 50. Up in front goes Buckley in defence. Zerha, hand pass went nowhere. Tom Green mops up. Back. It was clever to Whitfield. And now Iden bursts off half back as well. Whitfield has a bounce on the outer wing. Looks up what's up ahead. Goes towards half forward now as Cadman drops back and takes the mark. He's 55 from goal, up against the boundary line. Comes with the centering ball to Brent Daniels, who obliges with a simple mark, 40 out on a 45-degree angle.
Now, the captain, Toby Green, didn't touch the ball there, but he was standing beside Daniels, and the defender, there was a 2v1, and Toby just ran straight out of that space. The defender followed him and opened it up for Daniels. Real selfless play, and I was talking about it before, from a captain's perspective. He doesn't care who gets the ball or who gets the goals as long as they're winning as a football team. But to say they need this is an understatement. They've kicked the last, 4? 5.
Yeah, well,
5 or 6.
4 and 5 of the past 6. Here's Daniels kicked 4 goals himself against the Pies last week. He misses to the far side here. So margin was 28 the Giants' way early in this second quarter. We're approaching half-time here. It's a clean 6 points. 8-6 plays, 8 straight. 28 minutes gone, second term.
Sheasel brings it back in. Possession number 15. Didn't quite connect, though, on the left. And the ball's in dispute in a dangerous area as a result. Toby Green gets his head over it. Handball favours Bedford. He got there first. Was almost bowled over. Falls to Hogan. He snaps the goal. Well, GWS make the most of a North Melbourne mistake. Harry Sheasel didn't need to play on through the corridor. Didn't quite connect. Turnover in a dangerous spot. And Jesse Hogan eventually, with his second goal, puts it through. GWS lead by 12 points, 9-6-60. North Melbourne 8 straight, 48. And we're in the final moments of the second quarter.
And played on his left foot, played on with to go right, came back, miskicked it on his left. So scrappy enough turnover. Toby Green was strong over the ball, but they just surged the ball forward, and they're overwhelmed the opposition with numbers, but very clever from Toby to keep the ball going forward, and Hogan's on the end of it.
So margin back to 12. Early out, the Bombers beat the Hawks by 24 points at the MCG. Later on tonight, Geelong v St Kilda at Linear Park, and the Suns host the Crows at Carrara. It's your first full Saturday in AFL season 2024. Restart back in the middle. Briggs and Sherry. Sherry tries again here. O'Halloran for the Giants. Davies Uniacke breaks his tackle. Works the hand pass away here. Bailey Scott, he was third in the BNF last year for North Melbourne. His kick missed Lazaro, though. Mopped up by Iden for the Giants. Back to Perryman. Fires it off here to O'Halloran. Assesses the options. Again goes by hand to Perryman. And a short kick is dropped by Brent Daniels. They're streaming forward here. Daniels was run down there, though, late by Fisher. Footy comes loose. It's with Tucker of the Kangaroos. And now Sheasel's kick around the corner for Zach Fisher. Up the line here for North Melbourne on the half volley. Tom Green tries to gather, combines with Ash, and they go back inside offensive 50 here for Whitfield. How often you see the two Lockies combined there for the Giants? Yeah. Whitfield, Ash, and vice versa. Home side leads by 12 points here.
Maybe that Daniels play sums up GWS in the first half a little bit. Had plenty of time. It's just a little bit too cruisy. It was eventually caught. Big leap by Hogan, brings it to ground. The Giants have it at half back. Handball over the top, finds O'Halloran. He looks for Kelly, gets him. Back to O'Halloran, bouncing ball inside, attacking 50 for GWS. His handball misses the target, picked up by Tucker. Now McKercher, Gota and Dersma marking it right half back. Inside to Sheasel. Can North go and kick another one? Sheasel's kick finds a target in his big ruckman Sherry in the middle of the grounds. Now Lazaro. That's an ugly kick, and Jack Buckley is able to mark inside defensive 50. So the Giants leading by 12 points, 30 and a half minutes gone in the second quarter.
Messy passion play from the last couple of minutes from both sets of teams. Tom Green settled it down here at centre half back for the Giants. He's held onto the ball, just waiting for an option.
Up the corridor they go. In fact, Green does go wide in the end. Combines with Callum Brown. Good separation on Fisher. High ball inside 50 here. Down towards Hogan. Second bite. He beats Toby Pink again. And Hogan wastes no time. Centering ball to find Bedford. He marks 20 out directly in front.
He's strong from Brown and Hogan, wasn't it? You know, their ability to win that 1v1. Strong opponent against them, but their ability to actually hold them on the space. And I love seeing that from Hogan. You know, he's kicked a few. He's hot and he's on and he's looking for a teammate in a better position. It's a sign of a team that, you know, they almost prefer someone else to kick the goal from them when they enjoy spraying the ball around. And you look at some of the best teams recently in the competition, the Geelongs and Richmonds and whatnot, they love to actually help other teammates score goals.
Toby Bedford on the approach here, and he makes no mistake. So the Giants, with a little scare in that second term, push that lead back out to 18 points as we approach the major break. 10-6, 66. North Melbourne 8 straight 48. Got a few of your texts I'll get to at half-time. 0437 774 774. Your expert here this afternoon is Ty Keneally on Grandstand AFL.
Yeah, just strong footy, and it's great identification from Tom Green. They've been going 100 miles an hour. The game had been a bit scrappy. He got the ball at centre half back, held onto it, saw 1v1 with Brown and Fisher. Brown was too strong, won the 1v1, didn't hold it up. He knew that obviously Hogan's ability 1v1 forward deep, kicked it on his head. Jesse did the work, and then obviously being unselfish to hit Bedford. Really, really good team play and a positive play from the Giants.
Just 2 disposals for Bedford, but a goal to his name. Margin out to 18 points. Tom Green, 22 touches as we get close to half-time. Here's O'Halloran. He's had plenty of it as well. Throws it on the left. Bedford might have 2 in a minute. Running onto his right. Just pulls it to the left-hand side. Big opportunity to stretch the margin out to 4 goals heading into the main break. GWS lead is 19 points. They are 10-7, 67. North Melbourne, 8 straight 48. Here's Brett Sprigg on Grandstand AFL.
And here's Harry Sheasel from the left back pocket. High ball beyond defensive 50. At the drop there, Thomas for the Giants. Worked back by hand. Canelio to Whitfield. Kicks to half forward where it's marked by Brent Daniels. 55 from goal. Right on the half-time. Sorry, he played on. Goes for home. No one's back there. In fact, coming in very late. Callan Dawson makes sure it doesn't go through for a behind in the end. And it's no change to our score. What's going on down there? Tristan Cherry is being assessed, yes. I can just see now as I stand up on the members' wing. Seeing what happened here in that contest with Connor Iden and a few others. He got tangled up in a pack and he's come down. It looked pretty sort of innocuous, but he's just
it's on his chest,
sort of midriff, part of his midriff or hip. So keep an eye on Tristan Sherry. He's being assessed by North Melbourne staff on ground. Half-time score here is GWS 10-7-67, North Melbourne 8 straight 48. It was a quarter which belonged, I guess, to North Melbourne in a lot of ways, although the Giants do extend their lead, which was 15 points at quarter time and now 19 points at the half. The goal kickers, though, Jake Riccardi has 3, Aaron Cadman has 2, Jesse Hogan also has 2, singles to Tom Green, Tavy Bedford and Callum Brown for the home side. Meanwhile, for North Melbourne, Zane Dersma added his second in that second quarter, and Nick Larkey kicked both of his majors in the second term as well. Singles for Stevenson, Eddie Ford and Cameron Zerha here. So 19 points. It was at one stage 28 points the Giants' way, and then cut back to as little as 5 for a time there in time on of this second term. But Taikanelli, your thoughts on the opening half? And of course we saw more glimpses from North Melbourne in that second term.
I suppose the story of the half is North Melbourne's ability to put pressure on, and the two debutants, McKercher and Dersma, is the story of the half for mine. I think it's expected the Giants will win. They're playing okay. There's not huge worrying signs. They're just not that efficient in their forward 50. They cleaned it up that quarter, the Giants. But the story it's more young Dersma, his ability to fly and launch and kick a couple of goals, and McKercher to get 13 disposals. And that's probably the story of two young men starting their AFL journey. The excitement piece from North Melbourne's perspective, Garby.
Those two, Dersma and Sheasel, you can find on ballers anywhere, right? And McKercher looks special, but players, I think, like Dersma and Sheasel, who you can operate in all different parts of the ground and they will just make something happen in a very special manner. That gets fans excited more than anything else. North Melbourne supporters are sitting back today going, wow, we have a group of players that can catapult us if they can all stay together, back up the table, maybe in a couple of seasons. I'm not saying it's a challenge for a premiership, but you start talking about the top 8 in 2-3 years when you've got players of such immense talent. We're only a half into their AFL debuts, but you can see it straight away, can't you?
You can, and that's the positive signs and why when you're looking at players that you draft, and it's great to see from a coaching perspective. I'm sure Clark will be delighted that you look at these boys and say, well, they're actually playing why we drafted them, and it's a great start to your AFL career. And the Giants' perspective was the disconnection piece going forward in the front half of the ground. They did kick a couple late in that quarter to bring it back their way, but it's I'm enjoying the game itself. You kind of come in with the thoughts of thinking they'll just run over the top of them and that'll be it, and it's one-sided game. I still think the Giants will win the game, but I just think that their ability to actually stay in the fight, the pressure in the second quarter, North Melbourne, that was to turn the ball over in the front half, created lots of opportunities from in the forward 50, and obviously kicking straight, 8 straight does help in an away game in the first half.
North's first outing of season 2024, 19 points they trail by at half-time. Declan Byrne on the boundary.
Just quickly on Tristan Xerri, looked like a rib injury as he went off, so hopefully nothing too serious. But both benches had cleared out. Physios, doctors, players had all gone. The only people left was Adam Kingsley and the VFL coach Wayne Cripps. They sat and watched Vision on the laptop for 5 minutes. Lots of discussion. Kingsley certainly not happy at the end of the quarter there with that Giants performance.
We might, Phil Davis is just about to sort of address the crowd down here, Declan. You spoke about the significance of the week for him, and this is a bit of a testimonial day for the former skipper. So we'll see if we can pick him up on the PA here, but there'll be a special tribute for Phil Davis, who's one of the foundation players of the Giants, of course. Began life as a Crow. He's got ties to Canberra as well, where the Giants have a footprint, and he's been a heart and soul player of the club for a number of years. Of course, retired last year, Phil Davis. So if that's going to happen soon, we might try and take that here. 0437 774 774. Looking forward to the call of the, this is from before, the Giants North Melbourne game from Stephen. Go North Melbourne today is my tip. Kind regards. Thank you, Stephen. G'day, Spriggy. Grant here in Hobart. He says, can you tell the ground announcer to keep her voice down? I can't hear her. I can hear her from Hobart. That's not her fault. Lauren, she does a great job, but I think the PA at most footy grounds is quite loud these days. That's my Alison Zell from the media team of the Giants is down there with Phil Davis. We'll see if we can just pick up some of Phil Davis.
Farewelling, but not for the last time. Phil Davis, welcome back to NG Stadium.
Also, it's great to be
It's a nice welcome.
Hey, his mic's not working. That's a good start.
to see so much orange and to be back, and yeah, what a great place to be on a Sunday afternoon.
Late last year, you retired after 192 games in the AFL competition, over 150 captained here at the Giants. What's it like to be a retired AFL player?
I'm enjoying it. I must admit it's a little bit less stressful. If I was in the rooms right now, I'd probably be swearing. So it's good that I'm not. But I'm really enjoying it. It's been a great transition for me. I do miss these 2 hours a week. That's always the best time of the week. But very much enjoying cheering on the orange and charcoal.
We saw you retire in August last year. It's your first opportunity to be back here in front of the Orange Army. What do you want to say to the Orange Army who've all turned out to say farewell to you?
Yeah, I think for me, it's been a really big part of my life, my 12 years at the Giants. I think it's an incredible club and community to be a part of. So I just wanted to say thank you all from the bottom of my heart for all your support and unwavering times together. It's been fantastic. So thanks so much.
Yeah, great stuff. We couldn't shut the White Stripes up, of course, throughout all that, but it was good to hear from Phil Davis.
Yeah, I mean, talk about culture setters at football club. He led the way for GWS. I mean, that's why they've got such an incredible group of players who have been able to get them up the top of the table on numerous occasions in such a short space of time. But I did notice there that he said, if I was in the sheds now at half-time, I'd be swearing. And maybe that is a sentiment around GWS. I mean, they're leading by 19 points. They've played some lovely footy to the main break, but they have been a little bit complacent at times. They could have put North Melbourne away. I get the feeling Adam Kingsley will be really unhappy with some moments where they've just looked to be a little bit laissez-faire, to say the least.
Yeah, I think it can be understandable from a player's perspective when you look at the opposition, what's happening, and that's not being disrespectful to North. I'm just saying that it's easy enough to get yourself up for a game against Collingwood on a Saturday night game, a standalone game, and it's prime time TV, and then you're playing 17 the ladder and the down of playing that, a team that's came 17th in the ladder, so it's no excuse. You should be ready to play AFL football and play it at every level because you don't play a whole lot of games, so you should be up and playing from it. So I agree. They'll be disappointed the fact that they haven't put him away. They should have put him away early, and the disconnection in the forward 50 and then allowed North Melbourne to get some wind up and actually get after the game a small bit. And a young team like that's where you get your confidence from.
It's not as if they're playing badly though. No. Maybe just a little bit show pony stuff at times from
which things are going well. That's okay, and that's what King likes them to do and wants them to express themselves. And bloke speaking down there, and Phil expressed himself a lot. You got to remember when he started, Phil Davis 12 years ago, they were getting belted.
Yeah.
Absolutely belted, and he was a kid playing on the best forwards in the country for 3 or 4 years. So he spent his first 3 or 4 years getting absolutely belted by the competition, and his leadership was immense. So I think they'll be fine, but it's from mine, it's more the story of North Melbourne's ability to actually stay in the game and the young players and how quick an 18-year-old can have an impact in the game of senior AFL football.
Giants by 19 points at half-time. Earlier, Essendon by 24 over Hawthorn at the MCG. More details on that shortly. A couple of texts here. Tyler in South Perth says, Taylor missed out in All Australian due to not enough games. He played 18 games last year. It's probably on the cusp of being not enough. G'day, Keza from Eagle Farm here. Tell Ty, we all say g'day and have a beer with a shirt waiting for him next visit. Carn the Irish. Happy of course, tomorrow is St Patrick's Day.
Look out.
I forgot all about it.
Look out. What's planned?
Tomorrow.
It's always St Patrick's Day in my life, and that's my wife. But I'm looking forward to getting back to Eagle Farm, all my fans down there, and have a beverage. But yes, I'll be at the Rocks tomorrow, Circular Quay, with the rest of County Bondi and County Coogee down at the Rocks, amongst it with my shirt off, I'm sure, at some stage.
That'll be a quiet afternoon.
Love ABC footy calls. Go north. It's time to show your talent, says Jan from Euroa. Top of the morning to you tomorrow AM. Ty Canelli, says Joe. So keep your texts coming. We'll read a few more later on. 0437 774 774. Giants by 19 points at half time. Right now, time for ABC News.
Hello, this is ABC News with David Rowlands. The United Nations has warned that the consequences of an Israeli ground operation in the southern Gazan city of Rafah would be catastrophic. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says he's approved plans for an assault against Hamas in the overcrowded city and is preparing for the evacuation of civilians without giving a time frame. The UN Secretary-General's spokesperson, Stefan Dujarric, says there's hopes that all of this can be avoided as Israel is sending another delegation to Qatar for talks on a possible ceasefire.
We understand negotiations are still going on, and we continue to hope that we will the parties will find a way to a ceasefire to ensure the greater humanitarian access, to ensure the release of all the hostages held by Hamas and others in Gaza.
The United Nations says increasing numbers of children are going hungry in Haiti amid continuing violence and no clear path back to order and security despite the setting up of a transitional council following the resignation of Prime Minister Ariel Henry earlier this week. This report from the BBC's Will Grant.
Some aid is now making it into the country, yet it's nowhere near sufficient to cope with the scale of this emergency. In the political realm, the Transitional Council has been agreed. However, the gangs that control the capital Port-au-Prince don't recognise the council and have threatened its members in very, very stark language. So, Haiti remains stuck in a complex and dangerous situation, and the civilian population caught between the politicians and the gangs.
Back home in Westfield says it's working with authorities after a display car crashed into two people in Sydney southwest. Sean Tarrant Goodwin has more.
Police were called to Liverpool Westfield in southwest Sydney at around 12:30 this afternoon after reports two people had been hit by a car. They arrived to find a man in his 50s with minor head injuries and a man in his 30s with chest injuries. Both men were taken to hospital in a stable condition. Police interviewed a 14-year-old boy who is understood to have been in the display car when it accelerated forward, smashing a glass panel before reversing backwards into a Myer store. The boy has been allowed to leave the scene with a family member. A Westfield spokesperson says the company is supporting authorities and those impacted by the incident.
There are major disruptions in Melbourne's CBD as environmental activists block one of the city's busiest areas. Extinction Rebellion protesters marched through the city today before a sit-in outside Flinders Street Station. Police are attempting to move protesters from the location, with trams and traffic along Swanston and Flinders Streets disrupted. Still in Victoria, where Consumer Affairs has raised concerns about underquoting as its task force ramps up patrolling at auctions across the state, enforcing real estate laws. This week, it has filed new criminal charges against an estate agency for allegedly failing to provide a reasonable estimated selling price for a townhouse in Melbourne's northeast. A task force investigation revealed that the Ivanhoe property sold at auction for around 40% above the highest price in the range provided by the agency. Consumer Affairs Victoria says the estate agency claimed it couldn't find comparable properties in the area in the previous 6 months. However, inspectors were able to find multiple. Director Nicole Rich says the investigation followed complaints from the public about the sales campaign.
Our concern is that we do still see too many reports of suspected underquoting coming to us, so it's clearly still a strong concern to the Victorian community.
The Maritime Museum of Tasmania has embarked on a new scientific mission to find objects taken from sunken shipwrecks around the state. Before the Underwater Cultural Heritage Act came into effect, it was common for divers to take objects or fragments from shipwrecks. Curator Camille Rains says the objects that people found on board ranged from cutlery to pottery to pieces of wood.
We're not judging, anyone for having these things. It was another era. What we're trying to do is to make a big list, catalogue all these, so it can be preserved. The data can be preserved.
To sport, and in AFL, Essendon has beaten Hawthorn by 24 points on the back of a final quarter surge in front of nearly 74,000 fans at the MCG. On a hot afternoon in Melbourne, the Bombers held a slim lead over the Hawks at every change before a 5-2 final turn. Jake Stringer kicked 4 goals for the Bombers. ABC News.
This Thursday night kicks off a big weekend of footy. And you can listen big on the ABC Listen app. AFL, NRL and ABC Sport brings you the match between the Socceroos and Lebanon.
Good ball into the box, laid off the chest nicely. Jamie McLaren's there for the hat-trick.
The World Cup qualifier, Australia and Lebanon.
Ryan Grant heads across goal, Jamie McLaren heads it in.
Hear it live Thursday night on the ABC Listen app. This is ABC Sports coverage of the 2024 AFL season. Every match match on the ABC Listen app.
Look for the AFL button.
North go inside 50 though. Here's Curtis roving it nicely and snapping on his left from 40 out.
Yeah.
Beautiful efforts. Wonderful goal. The epitome of a forward 50 rover there, Paul Curtis. Read it beautifully, found some space and snapped through on his left from 45 out.
Goes on the entry again, leading up. Chapman controls the chest mark, 40 out directly in front. Number one pick of a couple of years ago. Chapman makes no mistake with a set shot. The Giants pull it back again.
High ball to Hogan and half forward. Too strong for Toby Ping. Marked over his head, 60 out. Plays on now, looking for Cadman and finding him. Marking just next to the goal square. A chance for him to kick 2 goals in the matter of 2 minutes. Cadman looking for back-to-back goals and finding them. No trouble from there. Shark by Ash. Ford gets it back though. Curtis finds Larkey, and Larkey gets an easy one from the goal square. Tom Powell throws it on the boot. High ball to centre half forward. And marked by Dersma. Doesn't this kid read the ball in the air superbly? You can see why he was taken with pick 4 in last year's draft. That is a wonderful kick. Dersma's got 2. Handball favours Bedford. He got there first. Was almost bowled over. Falls to Hogan. He snaps the goal. Well, GWS make the most of a North Melbourne mistake.
The 2024 AFL Premiership season.
On your radio.
ABC Sport Digital.
And on the ABC Listen app.
Half-time in Sydney where the Giants lead North Melbourne by 19 points, but the Kangaroos showed plenty of fight in that second term. The second half is not too far away. You're with Brett Sprigg, Daniel Garb, Ty Canelli and Declan Byrne. Earlier at the MCG, Essendon won by 24 points over Hawthorn, 17-5, 107 to 11, 17, 83. Jake Stringer kicked 4 goals. Cole Langford kicked 3. Dylan Moore kicked 3 for Hawthorn, while for the Bombers, Andy McGrath had 33 disposals, Zach Merritt 31, Massimo D'Ambrosio for the Hawks had 29 touches, and James Warple with 28 disposals and a goal. So a few highlights there. The Bombers getting a win in round 1. Later on, you'll hear Geelong versus St Kilda at Academia Park with Matt Clinch and the team. If you're listening in everywhere except South Australia on local radio, otherwise you're off to Gold Coast and the Adelaide Crows at Carrara. But you can find, of course, every call of every game on the ABC Listen app via either ABC AFL or our AFL Extra button. That's the best place to find it. We'll keep you across both games as we approach the evening. We'll preview the game at Geelong with Clinchy very shortly. And in the National Rugby League competition, it is earlier today, the Canberra Raiders beat the West Tigers 32-12, and underway in Townsville, the Cowboys and the Newcastle Knights. Newcastle leads there 6-0 in the first half, and you can find our NRL coverage on the ABC Listen app as well. Second half not too far away. Do love, by the way, the Kangaroos return to the 90s, the bounding Roo Guernsey, which is a welcome return, I think, for most North fans, and that's the team, Garby, I think, as children of the 80s that watched a lot of footy in the 90s. That was the revered North Melbourne team that wore that jumper.
Well, they were on every Friday night. I mean, yeah. Friday night footy was North Melbourne for a good 5 to 10 years. Obviously, Wayne Carey at centre half forward, a couple of premierships in the late 90s. Bruce McAvaney's love affair for Wayne, all those things combined meant they were a box office side for a number of years, and their supporters will be thinking, after so many years in the doldrums, with McKercher, Dersma, Sheasel, Wardlaw, Larkey and a couple others. Tom Powell's had a fair bit of it today as well. Davies Uniacke, we know he's been around for a while, but is a fair talent too. Those days might not be too far away.
I think they party too from that team from Friday night footy. They party till Monday.
If you're playing Friday night, you got Saturday, Sunday.
We must have got Monday as well, just to make sure we do a right job in it. But I've no doubt that Clark has got a piece in this, is trying to attach the club back into the history and the culture of North Melbourne, the success that the football club had.
Off the SMS 0437 774 774, Martin says, as the Orange Tsunami warning plays out around the showground, Martin says that the AFL ladder on the Apple website has the Giants already with 8 points. I think if you're looking at the live ladder, I think, Martin, just undo your live ladder button. And he thanks us for trying to get the Phil Davis audio on the PA, which we got a bit of. Brett from Gladstone, South Australia, says, we think North can hang in there after half-time, or will GWS get their act together and put the foot down for a 10-goal win Ty, what do you reckon?
It's possible, but it's possible because of what King is going to have said to him inside in the coach's box. But also the way, I don't think it will, because of North Melbourne's ability to actually stay in the game in the first half.
Second half underway. Here's Daniel Garb.
Giants lead by 19 points. Can they blow North away? Or will this super talented, youthful North Melbourne side stick with one of the premiership fancies? Stevenson kicks it off the ground and inside attacking 50. Buckley's floated across and taken the mark, and he's taken out Paul Curtis along with him. Curtis was slow to get to his feet, but has seemingly recovered. Buckley goes out wide to right half back and finds Lockie Ash. Low ball hits up Callum Brown with the bright orange boots, the Irishman. He'll enjoy St Patrick's Day tomorrow as well, even more so if the Giants can get a win. Finds him on the wing. Up to left half forward. Riccardi Mark stood his ground well. He kicked 3 goals in the first quarter. 5 his career best, Jake Riccardi. You'll be thinking about that. Spots it up to the top of the square. Hogan flies off his hands. Managed to get it on the second attempt, Jesse Hogan. A goal that was rather too easy, considering the amount of players that were around him. He's got 3 for the game now, but he was just way stronger than everyone else. The umpires want to have a look at this. I'm not sure if it's maybe grazed the post on the way through, but Jesse Hogan was certain he'd kick the major, and that is what they are reviewing, whether it hit the post or not. How on earth did he find that much space in the goal square? There's so many players around him.
I think it's actually Briggs had the ball in his hand as it came off the contest itself, and Jesse actually just stole it off Briggs, who looked like he was being held in the tackle, and just took it off his hand.
Position on the scoreboard.
That's a goal to Hogan. So 3 for Jesse after 4 against the Pies last Saturday night in the Giants season opener. So they strike early in the third term. GWS 11-7-73. The lead is now 25 points. North Melbourne 8 straight 48.
Yeah, relatively easy, wasn't it? You know, the challenge for North Melbourne and the young players is, I was just looking through the list there, they've got one player over 25 years of age, and that's Aidan Core. You know, you look at the young Dersman McGurchy, the challenge the young players playing is the consistency in the game, and if you're off at all for 10-15 minutes against the top 2, top 4 team in the Giants, they're going to absolutely punish you. And that was a moment right there where they were very much asleep in the last line of defence, where Jesse had a couple of cracks at it. Briggs had the ball in his hand. He just took the ball out of Briggs' hand and then snapped it on his left. But you've got to be on sharp early in the second half, because these are the moments where a team can really get hold of you, with the Giants that is, and you want them to actually keep fighting this out early in the third especially.
Plenty of experience on the bench. Liam Shields still yet to be subbed in the game. The umpires hit the deck here as he restarts play. Davies Uniacke with a clearance here for North Melbourne. Tumbles a high ball inside forward 50. Buckley is in front there of Zerha for the Giants. And the defender is brought to ground here for a ball up against the boundary line in the right forward pocket for North Melbourne.
Geez, the defenders from the Giants are good, aren't they? You see Buckley again there in the position to win 1v1 and be aggressive. It's almost setting up like forwards.
Out of the ruck, Briggs combines with Tom Green to Callaghan. Bursts away from the congestion there. Hand pass though picked off by Curtis, who snaps. That's an easy behind. It was touched off the boot of Paul Curtis as he snapped towards goal. And is actually North Melbourne's first behind of the game. So 8-1-49. They trail the Giants to 11-7-73. We are now 3.5 minutes into the third term.
He's turned the ball over a bit today, Lockie Ash, and he's running at 60-odd%.
That was a gift for Curtis that he failed to take advantage of. Giants have it at centre half back. And they spot up Lockie Whitfield in the corridor. They love the ball in his hands, running out of defence. He looks for Bedford, who found some space. Left half forward, just outside 50. Chisels one, looking for Riccardi. Well done by Pink to get a hand to it. The big ruckman in Briggs is there. Hogan strapping away for it, as is Daniels. He kicks it backwards, went a couple of metres. Bedford taps it to Riccardi. Held his ground, gives it to Kelly in game 200 against the team his dad played for. Kicks a major, Josh Kelly on the snap. And his teammates will come for him on his big day. He wore the Kangaroos duffel coat as a kid. Had photos with Stevens and Archer and Jess Sinclair and the rest. And he's kicked a big goal. Well, on a very big day for him. The Giants lead out to 30 points.
Yeah, off the back of Canelio's handball, he stood up again in the tackle. He's so hard to tackle, Canelio, and he's stood up in the tackle, and his handball, and he's left about a 20-metre handball. Whitfield didn't take a break of stride, and and you got big Briggs crumbing. So I don't know what's going on here, but the Chook is going to put that away every day of the week on his left side, his favourite side. 200 games of AFL football. A great example of a footballer that can play inside or outside. He's tough nut, and he can win the ball and use it outside also.
I saw the picture of him with Boomer Harvey, grandstand zone, of course, the game's older, and you've gone Jess Sinclair.
Well, he said this week Jess Sinclair was his favourite player.
Fair enough.
And he said Jess Sinclair messaged me and it made my week.
That's significant. That is significant.
Yeah.
The former Docker and Kangaroo, Jess Sinclair, comes here from Tom Green. He was bottled off the kick that time by Sherry again. North go forward of halfway. High ball inside 50. Iden tangled up there with Curtis. And trying to get it away here. Zerha again lays the tackle on Jacob Ware. The umpire will ball it up.
I don't know what you're saying. It's odd to go Jess Sinclair over Harvey in the
I didn't realise the significance of Jess Sinclair and Josh Kelly's psyche.
He just says he loved him.
30 points is the Giants' lead here. Umpire throws the ball in the air at left half forward for North Melbourne. Cornelio lays the tackle down there on Davies Uniacke. One-on-one steal there, rugby league style. As it's come away here, Davies Uniacke again. Wardlaw, hand pass goes straight into Whitfield. The Giants are away through Tom Green and now Steve Cornelio.
And he has Whitfield running off him. Just waited a moment and then gave it back to him. He's having a big influence on this game now, Whitfield. Spots up Riccardi again. 55 out, right half forward. Looking for Hogan, who's marking at the back. Worked Pink under the football. Plays on. Slams it through from a couple of metres out. And Jesse Hogan all of a sudden has 4 after 4 goals last week. And GWS are doing what we feared they might do at the start of this third term. They're blowing the game open. It's a 36-point lead. 13-7-85 plays North 8-1-49.
Yeah, a few back-to-back goals. It really does hurt you to start the quarter itself. But it came off the scrambled situation where North Melbourne had the ball in their hand. Callum Brown put some pressure on, turned the ball over. Great composure. It really was too easy going forward. And once Jesse Hogan gets your back at all as a defender, you're in big, big trouble. And that's exactly what happened to Toby Pink. But again, it was Whitfield's injury to Riccardi. Great ball used to the top of the square. And an opponent and a player like Jesse Hogan's quality is never not going to mark that. And it's going to finish from the goal square. He's kicked a few from the goal square, but kicked 4, is it?
Yeah. Back-to-back weeks, 4 goals for Jesse Hogan. Tristan Sherry takes out of the ruck here for North Melbourne. High inside 50. Curtis gets up there and marks. 45 out directly in front. Wilson goes now towards the lead of Larkey into the pocket. And he takes the overhead mark.
Nicely done. It took the mark on Himmelberg. Looks sharp on his toes and then the polish and composure to hit the leading forward. He is at a very, very tight angle, but on the left footer coming around in Curtis, it was a great lead knowing your teammate's leg and which way to lead. The space was there and he got tail on the jump.
We joke that it's called the Callum Sinclair stand. It is called the Sinclair. Maybe it's the Jess Sinclair stand today here. As Larkey takes his set shot from in front of it and he hits the post out the near side. So it's a 35-point game. A game high. It was 36 until a short time ago. 35 points is the lead here for the Giants. 8 go on third term.
Himmelberg plays on quickly. Handball over the top to Connor Iden. Drives the ball up the wing. Hogan leaps. Brings it to ground. Callum Brown is roving. Cadman, the big men all combining. Just squeezes one on his left to centre half forward. Harvey Thomas reads it well. Gathers it. Gives it to O'Halloran. Looked for Kelly. Well read, though, back there by the Kangaroos at half back. And they win it back. Here's Eddie Ford. O'Halloran tackles him well. It was Darcy Tucker who did some very courageous work in defensive 50. McKercher to Bailey Scott. Now Dylan Stevens. North on the break. The big ruckman has it in Tristan Sherry. Wants to handball and does now to Zerha. Inboard. Looking for Dylan Stevens, and for his first goal as a Kangaroo, toe pokes it forward to Curtis, finds some space, handball inboard to Stevenson, throws it on the boot and kicks it. Well, they worked hard for that one, North Melbourne. Stevenson has 2, but they managed to carve out a major with some industry and some slick hands, and the margin is now back to 29 points in favour of the Giants.
And they just kept at it. You know, Coleman Jones had the ball in the wing, probably should have entered by kick, but he's decided to go with hands to Zuhar, I think it was, and Dylan Stevens tried to keep the ball alive, and that's exactly what he's done. He's just toe poked it forward to Curtis, and nice hands in tight, good composure, and Stevens with the snap, so they just walked it eventually forward to goal, and sometimes that's all it takes, is just your weight of numbers and your ability to walk the ball forward to the teammate in a better position.
Voice of Ty Kennelly on Grandstand AFL. 2 big games coming up tonight. Geelong St Kilda, Gold Coast v Adelaide. We'll preview the Cats and the Saints with Matt Clinch shortly. Up it goes. Run down here to Lazaro for North Melbourne. Stolen away by Cornelio. The Giants win the clearance. Tumbles a high kick inside 50. Toby Green leaping from the back. And it's wrapped up down there inside 50. We'll ball it up. Seeing some ominous clouds off to the south here at the showground. Sherry out of the ruck again. Tries to combine with Fisher. The Giants with numbers though around the ball. O'Halloran extracted the footy here. Needs a clean hand pass. Can't get it away. It's going to be holding the ball. He was wrapped up down there by the Kangaroos down there in, beg your pardon, it's Aidan Corr, the former Giant, of course.
Another
Irishman. Oh, you claim him, don't you? He was born there. Spent the first 3 years of his life there.
Not here to take part. Not here to take over.
29 points is the Giants' lead here. It's with Eddie Ford at right half back for North.
Ford goes short. Finds Callan Dawson. Pick 2 in the 2022 mid-season draft. Getting some opportunities in defence for North Melbourne to start the season. Nice kick and a nice mark by Eddie Ford on the wing. Plays on quickly to McKercher. His left foot is very accurate. Off hands, falls for Zerha. Snaps on the left. Through for a behind. Colby McKercher now up to 15 disposals at 100% efficiency. A left foot like a surgeon.
It looks great, and you can clearly see why he was on such an early peak. And his score involvements, he's had 4 score involvements now. And what does he had? 15 disposals.
28 points as the Giants lead. Himmelberg kicks out here for the Giants. Just sort of holds the footy in his hands for a while. Buys some space in the right back pocket and drives it long to that southern wing. Big pack forms. Hogan at the drop. Pink sorted away here for North Melbourne. Aware for the Giants to Tom Green. O'Halloran under pressure from Davies Uniacke. Hand pass inboard for Cornelio. Moving here to Daniels. Back to Cornelio. Evades the tackle there of Wardlaw. And it's going to come back here as it will be a free kick for Stephen Cornelio, who was pushed in the back by Wardlaw as he got the footy away. So no advantage paid, but the Giants will reset here from the corridor. Just forward of those centre circles. 28 points is their lead. 12 gone third quarter.
Cornelio, possession number 23 coming up. Kicks it long to the top of the square. Cadman flew highest. Callahan collected. Gave it back to O'Halloran. Excellent smother from Zerha. And then controlled it to himself. Played on quickly. Perhaps a rush of blood to the head. Kicked it over the head of Larkey. And Taylor, who has had his measure today, the deepest defender back for the Giants, took the mark. Gave it to Callahan. Coming across and leaping was Callum Brown. Off hands, picked off by Daniels. Lovely handball to Ware. Had defenders closing on him, so gave it up. Eventually Tom Green has it, throws it on the boot. And that's through for a behind. His 27th disposal is a minor score, Tom Green. The Giants 13-8-86. North Melbourne 9-3-57. We've gone 13 minutes in the third term.
Well and truly on track for 40-odd disposals, Tom.
The Giants have taken this game away with 3 quick goals in the first 5 minutes of the third term. North just chipping it around here. Callan Dawson on the bounce. Stevenson comes in board. Mark dropped by Wardlaw. Mopped up here by Dawson. Moves in some space on the outer wing. Kicks high inside 50. Taylor goes up there early. Both he and Larkey missed it. There's a free kick given away here, and it's going to come back the Giants' way. Taylor copped the nudge.
What a game he's having. They're all so conscious of him now, you know, as a forward line. Where is he? And you know, can we get on his back or what's happening? It's actually Buckley's got the free kick, but they're all looking at Taylor's ability to fly and where is he when the ball goes inside your forward line.
Taylor hit the deck, but Buckley was blocked, so he'll have the ball in hand here and kicks beyond defensive 50 to the outer side. Going up again, Hogan combined with Brown. Brown back to Hogan with a clean directed fist down here. Toby Green works the hand pass forward to Tom Green, but Bailey Scott comes across and just knocks it out of bounds for a throw in it. Right half forward for the Giants. They lead by 29 points, 14 gone third quarter here on Grandstand AFL via ABC Sport.
GWS threatening to take this game away from North Melbourne. These young Kangaroos have shown they are up for the fight against one of the premiership fancies. Kick off the ground, bounces off the chest of Perryman on the outer wing. Davies-Uniacke is scrapping away alongside Tom Green, two of the premier midfielders in the competition. Davies-Uniacke up to 20 disposals, Tom Green up to 27 with 12 score involvements and a goal. Down to Declan Byrne on the boundary as we wait for the boundary throw-in.
That big grey cloud that's coming in from the south with the wind is just spitting a little bit. Nothing big at the moment, but it is hovering.
Back in it comes. Kick smothered that time. Stevens tried to get it away for North Melbourne. Now out to meet footy Zerha. Just tumbles his kick up the line. Buckley lays the tackle on Coleman Jones. It's over for a throw-in again.
Just played on the other side of the ground at the moment from us, isn't it? The stoppage after stoppage, so there's a bit of lull in play the last few minutes, and North would be happy to stem the flow of the injuries from the Giants. You know, they'd want to try and sneak one here, keep it alive for them.
Sheasel spent a bit of time off the ground. He'd be desperate to get back on. He had a huge influence in the first half for North. The reigning Rising Star winner is Davies-Uniacke. Smart handball inboard to Zerha. Throws it on the bird into the pocket. Off the hands, it favours Larkey. Looking for Coleman Jones. He was caught. Umpire allows play to go on for GWS. Bounding off half-back. O'Halloran's handball sits up nicely for Callaghan. Hits up his captain at centre-half forward. He's got plenty of options. Brett Daniels is one of them. He'll mark. Handball it over the top for Hogan, looking for his fifth. He'll handball inside for Callum Brown. And the Irishman will guide it through from 10 metres out directly in front. He's got two after kicking 5 last week. And the Giants' lead is out to 35 points, 14-8-92. North Melbourne 9-3-57. And Callum Brown with 7 goals for the season. Ty Kennelly, your countryman.
Yeah, it's great to see, but what's great to see also, this fellow Irishman's doing extremely well, is their ability to bounce off half-back and the speed that they're doing. There's not many teams in the country can stop what we see when they get going. At Orange Tsunami, and we talk about it all the time with them now, that Kingsley's brought that back with the ability to actually go fast at half-back with that handball. And it's and that's Callaghan's ability too, to get on loose balls, but also they're looking for the forward handball. They know when they forward handball that there's runners coming, and it's very attractive to see, and it's going to draw football fans to watch the Giants play.
What's that music? Is that like, it's like a pinball arcade machine music, or was that a number one hit in Ireland?
God, you're not that old, are you, Spriggy?
Was it?
Okay. I have no idea.
Okay. I wasn't sure if I was missing something significant there with the music. If it's playing music for Callum Brown. Restart back in the middle. Way it comes to O'Halloran in his 50th game. Briggs all by himself. All momentarily, he was wrapped up by Dylan Stevens. North bring it away here. Davies-Uniacke goes inside forward 50. Larkey leads into the pocket, and Taylor got into the back of him. Gives away the free kick to North Melbourne spearhead.
He didn't need to do it, Taylor. You know, he had Larkey. He was only half leading, really, to tell you the truth, and it looked like he had him, but the temptation was too much to put his hands on his back.
No change to the subs so far, by the way. So I mentioned Liam Shields on the he's the most experienced player by some margin as well, the former Hawk and 3-time premiership player. So he's still waiting to be subbed in, and Nick Haynes as well for the Giants. Speaking of experienced players. And here's Nick Larkey. Third in the Coleman last year. All-Australian full forward. Lining up a set shot from 35 out and can just nurse it through. He's got 3. He's been beaten by Sam Taylor overall, but he's got 3 goals. And North are not going away just yet. Margin back to 29 as we approach the 19-minute mark of the third term here at the Sydney Showground on ABC Sport.
Pike, I just wonder if Taylor's enjoyed bullying Larkey a little bit too much, and he's tried to impose himself a couple of times when he hasn't needed to and given away free kicks.
Yeah, he really didn't need to that. He had that position set on it. You know, he didn't have to put his hands up in his back. It certainly was there, but I just feel for the fullbacks. You know, he's had a great day, and his direct opponent on him has kicked 3 goals. You know, he's supposed to be one of the best on the ground, Taylor, but his opponent still's kicked 3. So that's going to happen, obviously, when you are a fullback and the opposition key forward is the Coleman medalist is going to get opportunities. But nicely finished, and he's battled hard. Like, he's still getting the opportunities, and he's working for him.
All-Australian full forward he was, Nick Larkey. Sam Taylor is an All-Australian fullback. In a great battle. Taylor's had the better of it, but Larkey fighting hard. 3 goals to his name as Zerha is wrapped up by Toby Green in the middle of the ground. Ball up.
I did say Coleman, didn't I? I meant All-Australian.
And here is Toby Green. Whitish day from him. That kick on his left looking for Callum Brown is punched away from him by the former Giant Aidan Corr, and the umpire says Brown was held onto, and he might not even bother. Well, he has turned his head.
He can kick it.
But we know he can kick it from here without any issue whatsoever. So we look for a couple of options, as you should do. But the Irishman has gone back on the Michael Holding runner. And at 75%, he can kick this three-quarter post high. He's got 2 goals to his name, Callum Brown. The Giants' lead is 29 points. 20 minutes gone in the third term. It's a roost from him, as is customary. It's flirting across the face, though, and through for a behind. GWS 49.93, North Melbourne 10.363. The lead is 30 points.
We just hit time on now in the third term. So kicking out from goal, Sheasel, link up with Lazaro, coming in late, Whitfield. Ash mops up here for the Giants, thumps it high inside 50 again for the home side. Corr with the spoil against his old team. And now it's Sheasel's hand pass untidy. Callaghan gathers. It comes from Brown to Cornelio. Back to the hot spot now for Thomas. The much smaller body in there. Can't bring it to ground with the mark. It's now with Toby Green, who fires on goal from the pack, and it's away to the right-hand side. So the Giants just peppering away here. 14-10-94. The Kangaroos 10-3-63. 21 gone third term. Grandstand AFL.
Just looking at Harvey Thomas trying to kick his first goal. The ex-academy boy. Had half an opportunity. Cornelio, obviously the senior player, looking for the option inside, but not quite the height. It's not his marking strength. Mark is not his strength, sorry.
It looked for Larkey on the wing over his head, but Briggs got into his back. So, in fact, it's Callum Coleman-Jones who win the free kick. As Bailey Scott running off him at half-back. Collects it on the wing, on the logo. Kick looks for Eddie Ford over his head. Taylor's mopping up. Handball to Whitfield in the left back pocket. Good tackle on him by Paul Curtis. Ball spills free. We'll have a boundary throw in the pocket for North, who trail by 31 points, down to Declan Byrne on the boundary.
I'm not sure if it's the same as cricket where you start warming up to give your signal to the captain you want to bowl, but Liam Shields has been warming up for 10 minutes. Might be on soon.
Keep an eye on that.
Like in under-14s sport, when you warm up next to the coach, surely he'll see me, feel sorry for me and put me on.
He's 32, so he needs to get going.
Curtis lost it, the O'Halloran tackle. Ash can clear here for the Giants, and it's just caught some of the chalk. He'll say deliberate, though, the umpire. I can probably see both sides of the coin there, but it's going to be a free kick here for Bailey Scott. And North have the footy on the members' wing nearest to us here at the Sydney Showground, at which the Giants lead by 31 points.
Scott will set it up. Deep in attack for North. Floating across his Himmelberg. That's his roll down there for the Giants, and he smashes it over the boundary line. Another boundary throw in from where it was taken just 15 seconds ago. Right forward pocket for North, who have been super accurate today. 10-3-63. The Giants 14-10-94. Taking the game away from North a touch in this third term, but haven't quite sealed it yet. A goal here from North Melbourne. Time on in the third term will be very handy indeed. Cornelio's handball is dangerous in his own defensive 50, and it spills the way of Dersma. Just lost the handle on it for a moment. And the players fall on the Sharon. And there is a call for holding the ball. It'll go the way of North. And it is young Zane Dersma. But what a debut he's having. 2 goals to his name. He pinged O'Halloran inside his own attacking 50. And this highly talented youngster, pick 4 in last year's draft, has a chance to kick 3 on debut.
Well, the free kick was definitely there. You just can't dive from the football anymore. You got to knock it out. But again, Giants just a bit, too cute with handball and messing around when he could get on the foot to get it out of there.
Dersma ambles in. That's an effort he knows he can do better with than what he did. Just slices it a touch through for a behind.
That's my fault, Zane. I had the pen right to go to write the goal in, so you can blame me, Zane Dersma. Still has the 2 goals, though. Giants bring it away quickly. Himmelberg fires the hand pass up the southern wing. Ware comes inboard now for Callum Brown. Back to Whitfield streaking by. Still back here for Kelly. Loads up on that preferred left boot inside 50. Hogan comes across there. Daniels looks to Rove. Lays the tackle on Fisher. Fisher got the hand pass away, though. It comes through Pink. And now trying to get the ball moving now for the Kangaroos. Lazaro finds Zerha, loads up down the corridor here. Eddie Ford marks inside 50 all by himself. Pops it closer to home now. Oh, it's a dinky kick, and it's going to miss Paul Curtis, and Lockie Ash can tumble it towards the behind post where it hits the behind post, and it's a boundary throw-in. That's probably the best result now for North off the back of that absolutely wasteful opportunity from Curtis, from Eddie Ford, I beg your pardon. And it's going to be a stoppage inside 50 here, if nothing else, for the Kangaroos.
Oh, what was he doing? I think he was caught in two minds whether to go for goal or spot up his teammate in Curtis. Did neither in the end. It sliced off his boot. Should have been a goal for North. The Giants still under pressure, though. Iden's kick doesn't clear defensive 50. Now it finds its way to Whitfield. That allows them to compose GWS at halfback. Tom Green's kick to a contest on the wing. Bedford does well to duck under a couple of would-be tacklers. Finds Callahan. The handball to Thomas. Riccardi just squeezes one over the top for Brent Daniels, and he marks inside attacking 50. Well, the Giants might make North pay here in a very big way. The margin should have been pegged back to 4 goals. That spurned opportunity means Daniels winds up from just outside 50. Off hands. Sits up for Zach Fisher. Under pressure. His kick is just bouncing inside the boundary line. And it'll be called deliberate. So Jesse Hogan will gather it and kick from 60 metres.
News from downstairs, Declan.
Sub has been made. It's work. Shields is on for Coleman Jones.
And he's out there on the mark as Hogan goes high towards full forward here for the Giants. A little too deep for Riccardi. Bursting in there again, trying to make use of it down there, Harvey Thomas. And underneath all that, Toby Bedford in there as well. So a ball up. 15 out from the Giants attacking goal at the scoreboard end of the showground. Tom Green out to Finn Callahan. Hand pass off to Daniels. He was dumped viciously by Zerha, and the umpire says holding the ball. So it'll come Zerha's way. We have seen umpires crack down on that action as well as far as the tackling technique, but nothing to worry about there for Cam Zerha. It's the Giants who lead by 30 points, 27 go on third term. They swing it across the half-back line here. Callan Dawson has Brown chasing him. Dawson brings it back to Toby Pink on the point of the square defensive side of halfway. Comes up the line for Sherry. Crashing in the pack late, Taylor. Sherry hits the deck. Himmelberg goes to retrieve the football here. He was beaten to it, though, by Darcy Tucker. Ball in dispute on the outer wing.
Tom Green picks it up for possession number 30. And the Giants have turned it over once more. Lovely work from Tucker to feed it back. And now they find Lazaro, left half forward. Assessing his options. Giants get back to flood the space, and that means Tom Green can pick it off in front of his own defensive 50. What a game he's having. Possession number 31 coming up. 13 of those contested, 12 score involvements and a goal.
Yeah, it's great play. Taylor actually dropped back, which the midfielder and Green was filled up and picked up his opponent, which allowed Taylor to go back, and then North Melbourne players were looking to go short, and that's where Green was able to get the intercept. A really good connection play from mid in the back.
Where to Kelly, and now a hand pass to Callahan. The loose man forward of halfway. Goes high inside 50. Hogan gets the sit and the grab. Almost played on from 40 out. Does so now. Hogan spots Jacob Ware all by himself in the left forward pocket. And he'll take his set shot from 20 out on the angle.
He's given off a few now, hasn't he, Hogan? Bedford before, and another one, so he could have kicked 6, 7 even. But it's great to play. It's great to see young players and teammates in better positions giving it off.
I was going to ask, is Ware in a better position than what Hogan was, considering he's a left footer on this side?
He's closer, I think. But
only 4 goals in his career so far, Jacob Ware, the South Australian.
Maybe not.
Missed it near side.
They're sharing it around a lot at the moment, the Giants.
Yeah.
I guess that's
right.
the narrative I was trying to get to.
14-11, 95 to 10-4, 64.
You wonder if they've done that a bit too much today. The Giants have made their sub as well. Nick Haynes is on, and Xavier O'Halloran in game number 50 has been subbed off. Connor Iden's off at the moment as well with an issue too. There's a free kick that's been won by North Melbourne on the wing. Giants fans aren't happy. Zerha's got it. He's had a big third term. Inboard to Scott. Sheasel running off him. They like the ball in his hands. Not his best effort though. Another whistle. It's a free kick to North. So Sheasel was dumped behind play after he kicked it. And Lazaro will kick from just behind 50. Slight angle to the right. And this might just give North Melbourne some hope as we get close to three-quarter time. Lazaro doesn't like himself from the distance, so sets it up. And coming across is Sam Taylor, the impenetrable Sam Taylor, marking in front of Tristan Xerri.
Oh, what a star.
He marks at fullback. Short kick to his fellow defender in Buckley. So Coleman Jones was subbed out for North Melbourne, so Liam Shields out there. As they pump it long beyond defensive 50 here, the Giants. Hogan reaching for it in the pack. North bringing it away though. Hand pass to Sheasel. Mark spilled by Shields at centre half forward here for North Melbourne. Socket away here by Lockie Ash. They're all piling in from all angles now and will ball it up 55. No, he won't. It's going to be holding the ball. It's the umpire saying it was held in, and it's going to be holding the ball and going the Giants' way. With Liam Shields not getting rid of it. Whitfield, sweeping hand pass wide to Josh Kelly, the milestone man. Turns Wardlaw inside out. Goes back to Himmelberg. Long kick inside forward, 50. Up in front. Hogan's got 2 to beat. He's being held. Jesse Hogan with a free kick coming 25 out directly in front. So Iden was off, and O'Halloran confirmation there as Declan just gave us the whisper from downstairs, has been subbed out for the Giants. So Jesse Hogan, chance to go back and slot his 5th as we approach three-quarter time.
Again, great balance from half-back from the Giants, and in that case the entry came from Himmelberg, who was about 30 off from goal when they started that chain, and got that handball for the entry itself, and he was running hard, and Stevenson was chasing after him. Great entry, and again, strong 1v1 work from Hogan.
Jesse Hogan in career best form at his 3rd AFL club. He's got 5. And the Giants have taken this game away. In no small part, thanks to him in this 3rd term. 5 goals for the match. The margin is out to 37 points.
Yeah, it's the story of the game really is the ease when they're bouncing off at half-back is where they're getting the majority of the scores, the Giants. It's very difficult to stop, and when you got a young team like that, they're not being efficient in front of goal, but also you got a bloke called Taylor who's intercepting everything, and it's been the story of the game with in their forward 50 North Melbourne. Taylor's just intercepting everything that's going in there, and they're allowing them to bounce from half back off that. So, and North Melbourne haven't done anything about it for 3 quarters.
Now, the other end of the ground, they've got one of the best key forwards in the competition. I mean, he's an afterthought perhaps in some parts of the country. You mentioned Curnow and the other stars, Larkey obviously and several others, and sometimes they forget Jesse Hogan. In the early stages of the season, he is reminding everyone of his talents. 4 goals last week, 5 goals to three-quarter time for the Giants, who are 15-11-101. They put the foot down in that 3rd term on North Melbourne, who are 10-4-64, and they lead by 37 points.
As well as Hogan's 5, 3 goals for Jake Riccardi, 2 each for Callum Brown and Aaron Cadman, singles for Tom Green, Toby Bedford and Josh Kelly in his 200th game with a goal in that 3rd quarter as well. While for North Melbourne, Nick Larkey now has 3, a couple for Jaden Stevenson and Zane Dersma, and singles to Paul Curtis, Eddie Ford and Cameron Zerha here for the visitors. Margin 37 points at the final change. This is Grandstand AFL.
For all those yearnings for truly outstanding entertainment,
I have an idea of what might cheer you up.
You'll find a trove of Academy Award winning and nominated films on ABC iView.
Let's play.
Like Imitation Game,
It's beautiful.
American Sniper, Her, and Spotlight.
There's a story here, and I think it's an important story.
Brooklyn, Carol, and so many more.
Bon appetit.
Always free, always outstanding on ABC iView.
This is ABC Sports coverage of the 2024 AFL season. Every match on the ABC Listen app.
Look for the AFL button.
Bedford taps it to Riccardi, held his ground, gives it to Kelly in game 200 against the team his dad played for. Kicks a major, Josh Kelly on the snap. And his teammates will come for him on his big day. Spots up Riccardi again, 55 out, right half forward, looking for Hogan, who's marking at the back. Worked Pink under the football, plays on, slams it through from a couple of metres out. And Jesse Hogan all of a sudden has 4. To Curtis, finds some space, handball inboard to Stevenson, throws it on the boot and kicks it. Well, they worked hard for that one, North Melbourne. Stevenson has 2, but they managed to carve out a major with some industry and some slick hands. Handball it over the top for Hogan, looking for his fifth. He'll handball inside for Callum Brown. And the Irishman will guide it through from 10 metres out directly in front. He's got 2 after kicking 5 last week.
North bring it away here. Davies Uniac goes inside forward 50. Larkey leads into the pocket. And Taylor got into the back of him. Gives away the free kick. And here's Nick Larkey. Third in the Coleman last year. All-Australian full forward. Lining up the set shot from 35. Out and can just nurse it through. He's got 3.
The 2024 AFL Premiership season.
On your radio.
ABC Sport Digital.
And on the ABC Listen app.
3 for Nick Larkey, but Jesse Hogan is the story at the other end. 5 goals for the Giants, who lead by 37 points here at the Sydney Showground on Grandstand AFL. Brett Sprigg alongside Daniel Garb. Premiership Swan Ty Ganelli is with us, and Declan Byrne on the boundary. Declan reminding us that the subs were made in that third term. Nick Haynes for the Giants in the action for Xavier O'Halloran, and Liam Shields on for Callum Coleman-Jones for North Melbourne. We're going different directions after this, so for most of you on local radio, except for South Australia, we'll have coverage of Geelong versus St Kilda at Kardinia Park with Matt Clinch and the team. While, and by the way, just on that game, no late changes for either the Cats or the Saints. The subs are for Geelong, Sean Manor and Lance Collard for St Kilda. And otherwise, you'll hear Gold Coast versus Adelaide at Carrara with Quentin Hull leading our call there. That's through local radio, South Australia and the necessary markets. But, of course, you can hear coverage of all of these games on the ABC Listen app, either on the special ABC AFL or AFL Extra button. Here, it's the Giants by 37 points at the final change. Ty Ganelli, your thoughts?
Yeah, they just took hold of the game, didn't they? Early kicked 3 in the first 7 or 8 minutes of the quarter. You know, they really got hold of the game, the Giants, and took it away. And their efficiency going forward was a big piece in what happened to North Melbourne, and their inability to defend was exposed heavily in that quarter, and certainly Jesse Hogan's on the end of a lot of them, you know, but their ball use going forward was exhibit. They've continued with the bounce from half back, which is very hard to stop, but it led by Taylor, and again his ability to intercept at half back, and you know, they've won some strong clearances, some big numbers in their clearance differential, which is 26 to 18 clearance differences right now, and their contested possession as well. They've overpowered them a small bit in the last 10 minutes of that quarter to run over the top of North, you know. So this is the piece from a coaching perspective and a young team. You don't want the game just to fall away from North Melbourne's perspective. You know, you want the younger players to continue on and learn, develop, and take every opportunity you have as a footballer to play in AFL. And a quarter of football, when you're 19, 20, 21 years of age, is vital, senior football. And you got to learn and take as much learnings as you can from a team that's a top 4 team in the Giants and get after the quarter, and that's what you're looking for from North Melbourne's perspective.
Is that your first learnings for the year? Was that a Ross line? Did Ross use that word back in the day?
Maybe, I don't know.
He loves that. He loves the learnings.
I'm struggling to say lengthening at the minute. Lengthening the ground or stretch the ground, but yeah, learnings.
Lengthen the ground. Darby.
Leading possession getters to three-quarter time. Tom Green outstanding. 31 disposals, 13 score involvements, a goal as well. Whitfield has been dynamic off half-back with 26 touches. Cornelio, 24. 11 score involvements for Josh Kelly in game 200 and 21 touches, including a big goal. Callahan got into the game in that third term with 17 touches. Brent Daniels as well with 17. For North, Sheasels had 25 and been excellent across half-back. Davies Uniac's led the way in the middle with 23. Tom Powell, pick 13 from a couple of years ago. Bit of a slow starter at North, has frustrated some Kangaroos fans. Looks to be at it in the early stages of the season. 22 disposals. And the big story, McKercher 15, he's been brilliant. And Dersma in his debut, pick 4 from last year's draft with a couple of goals.
Into the final turn we go, or quarter. Finn Callahan works at forward of halfway. Wide of the flank where Toby Green leads and marks 65 from goal.
Tom Green, 32, so let's see if we can get the 4-0 mark.
Toby Green plays on here from 55, and Hogan leads up here. It's off hands and through for a minus score. So 38 points now is that new game high lead.
How many times from a Giants perspective have you heard Whitfield, Cornelio and Kelly with big numbers? 26, 25, 21, and then throwing Tom Green.
They're all at it in the early stages of the season. They've got their eyes on a premiership. that Giants cohort.
Yeah, that group, especially that age group, and that this is probably it. You know, they've got the last chance as far as the next year and the year out, this year and next year. You know,
they've all committed to this football club. They love it.
Yep.
They're bringing up milestones at it. Now they want the ultimate glory. Long way to go, of course. Very good signs in their first couple of games in season 2024. But North Melbourne have not gone away just yet. The margin is 38 points. A lot to do from here. And they're moving the ball nicely off half-back, and Stevenson's marked it at half-forward. Kicks into the corridor looking for Sherry. He marked it at the second attempt. Got in front of Briggs. Watched it nicely and guided it down. So he'll kick from 45 out directly in front, and North would love the first one of the opening term.
I love the way he's gone about it. You know, his ability to actually get on the loose ball, but he's very physical. He's got on the ground ball, second to third efforts around it, so you get a bit of reward for effort and kick a goal here early in the quarter. It's the fight that you're trying to talk about with the 25-year-old ruckman, because they do take time to develop later.
Well, speaking of that, we speak about all the early draft picks in the North Melbourne side. Yeah. Pick 72 from the 2017 draft, Tristan Sherry. Never mind the sherry, like a fine wine, getting better with age. Kicks beautifully from 45 out, slots it through the middle, and the margin is back to 32 points in favour of the Giants, and the big ruckman with a lovely mark and goal from a fair way out.
There's going to be a bit of them going on tomorrow.
You're thirsty already, aren't you?
A fine wine. I wouldn't mind one right now to warm me up. And bit cold here in the box with air conditioning.
A little bit of black stuff on it tomorrow.
Oh, yes, 100%. But look, well played. You know, it does take time as ruckman to develop, and, you know, you're late pick, and I'm sure he would have doubts about his football ability when he comes into a system that hasn't been played, and the turmoil that they've had, North Melbourne, over the past few years. But is he going to get chances? What's he going to play? You know, his ability to actually compete as a ruckman. He's played 33 games of AFL football, so 202 centimetres, but I've been very excited about the way he's gone about it today.
We forget that one of their former rucks is here at the Giants, Braden Bruce, who's been in the twos for quite a while, as the Giants work their way forward of halfway, but Sheasel intercepts here at centre half back for North Melbourne. Goes out to right half back. McKercher combines with Davies Uniacke. 32 points is the Giants' lead here. Not much of a crowd. I'll get to that later on. And your texts are welcome. 0437 774 774. We head off to Geelong and the Gold Coast, respective broadcasts after this. As it goes wide to right half forward. Sherry up there again, competing with Briggs. Umpire saw the free kick there, the chopping of the arms. It will go Sherry's way.
Briggs getting frustrated. Didn't like Sherry out marking him and then goaling a moment ago. Overzealous in that contest. It's a nice kick from Sherry to find Tom Powell at centre half forward. So North can kick another one quickly at the start of this last term. Giants might just be on alert. Long ball. Larkey works his way to the front. Taylor's there with him as he has been all game, and then Eddie Ford is wrapped up by big Kieran Briggs. So a ball up for North Melbourne, just 10 metres out from their goal square.
Just watch you under, sorry, Garby.
11-4-70 they are. The Giants 15-12-102.
Just talking about Taylor, the ball's just about to be re-thrown in here. He just walks you under the ball, and Larky's getting a bit frustrated with it, and he doesn't touch the ball. So this probably free kicks at times, but gets body on all the time, Taylor.
Haynes to Himmelberg with the outside of the boot, works his kick up the line. It was dropped by McKercher. Goes to retrieve it, though. Pressure comes from Toby Green, who's helped over the boundary line by McKercher, so we'll throw it back in. Trying to work out how many... Is it Nick Haynes back out there? So 5... inaugural Giants remain. Ward, Toby Green, Nick Haynes, Steve Cornelio, Adam Kennedy?
Yes.
Yes. Only 5. So one fewer than, obviously, Phil Davis retiring last year. It was 6 last year, so down to 5. Here's one of them, Cornelio. Works his kick around the corner here. Toby Green swoops in and takes the mark on that far wing.
Plays on quickly to Tom Green. Possession number 34 coming up for him. And of all the wonderful contributions he's made this afternoon, that's probably the worst of them, out of bounds on the full. But a profound impact on this contest once more. Midfield bull is the adjective we use for Tom Green. It is so fitting. It is 50 metres as well to North, so a chance to take advantage here. Got it at centre half forward. Long ball into attack from Dylan Stevens. Perryman's there for the Giants. So's Ford. He's been dangerous in attack. Taylor gathers it. Handball over the top looking for Josh Kelly. He's met by Bailey Scott, taken over for a boundary throw-in. Just inside attacking 50, left half forward for North Melbourne, who trailed by 32.
It's good passage of play again from North. They're keeping the ball in the front half of the ground. So they're putting it to the Giants. They're not going away. It's exciting.
Back in it comes. Spriggs lays it down here for Perryman. Getting there first, though, Zerha for North Melbourne. On hands and knees. The umpire says, let's ball it up. Overcast conditions. A bit cooler out there. Very cool in the commentary box where the aircon's going about minus 30. As they work it inside 50 here, North again, this time through Liam Shield, and it's chopped off by Harry Himmelberg.
Might be like the Kansas City supporters, wasn't it? Kansas City lost a couple of limbs watching the NFL game during the year.
Well, that's news to me.
Yeah.
Up they go towards the
Baltimore.
The members wing here. It's extracted by Zach Fisher. Hand pass off to Davies Uniacke. And it's now with Shields, the former Hawk. Wheels and goes by hand of Fisher. Up the boundary line he comes. Now with a centering ball towards full forward. Larkey leaps up. At the back, Taylor kept his feet, did well. Hand pass off to Haynes. Some pressure comes here from Dylan Stevens, but Haynes gets the kick away.
They've started the last term the better, North Melbourne. The Giants will want to get going here, just to make sure of the 4 points in this one at home.
Oh, they're out here.
Green finds Daniels. Now they can get going. Tom Green marks it. Another possession for him to Cornelio. Callum Brown, the little handball to Callahan. He kicks for Hogan in the pocket. Well done by Callan Dawson getting in front of him to mark. And again, you look and you think, the Giants have just gone for goal there.
Yeah, and Finn can kick it again, but they're looking for players, probably doing it too much. But they need to execute it. He's better than that, Finn, going forward.
Loose ball in the wing. Lazaro there for North Melbourne. Worked away here from Davies Uniacke to a contest. Off hands, down in front of Tom Powell. He's tackled as well. Somehow the ball just bobbles its way towards half forward for North Melbourne. Shields collected down there by Cornelio. Ball comes loose eventually. Cornelio gets a hand pass from Whitfield. Now a kick from Cornelio to find Daniels. To the middle of the showground they go. High ball inside 50 for Jesse Hogan, who's shoved as well from Aiden Core. And that will be 50. And he's lining up here for number 6. It'll leave from the top of the goal square. And Jesse Hogan having a day out here against North Melbourne.
Great turnover. They actually fight for the ball with Himmelberg and Connor Iden and Tom Green with a really clean.
Pops it in. He's kicked 10 goals in the space of a week. 4 against the Pies last week. Half a dozen here for Jesse Hogan, and the Giants move their lead out to 38 points, Ty Connelly.
Look, their ability to go forward through the corridor, even more so, it's very evident in this quarter. But he's moving well, and we say it all the time. If you can keep him fit and keep him healthy, Jesse Hogan that is, and play. If he plays the bonds of 18 games this year to win for you, you probably won't want him playing every game because his body mightn't be up to it. But his influence on the group is enormous because it allows Cadman and Riccardi to actually play different roles.
It's only the third time in his career, Jesse Hogan, he's kicked 6 or more in a game. So he kicked 6 for the D's once, 7 for Melbourne once as well. Last year he kicked 9 for GWS against Fremantle on this ground. So with a fair bit of time left in the last term, he might just get close to that number. The Giants lead by 38 points. 6 goals for Hogan.
Gave off a couple too.
That he did. Here's Davies Uniacke. Possession number 26 for him. Jacob Ware's able to mark. High ball. Out of half-back from North Melbourne. Straight to him. He spots up Daniels. He's been really busy as well. That's a clever kick inboard. And he finds Cornelio. He took some contact as he gathered the mark overhead. Possession number 29 coming up for Steve Cornelio. People doubted him over the last couple of years, whether his best was past him. He has answered those critics in emphatic fashion. A brilliant season last year. And now he's found his good mate in game 200 in Josh Kelly, who has 1 goal already to his name and is looking at a second from 45 out in a slight angle. And in a milestone game, it's always nice when his last one was on the run a little bit. You can set things up for a goal when all the attention has been on you all week. The junior Roos fan, Dad Phil played for the club, and in game 200 he has 2 goals against them. And once more they will celebrate a milestone man at GWS in Josh Kelly. Classy operator on and off the football field. And he's got 2. The Giants blow the lead out to 44 points and 4 points for them now. It seems assured.
It's great. When you look at that group, you're talking about Josh Kelly played his 200 game, obviously tonight. Haynes 204, Whitfield 210, Green 216, Cornelio 203. It's a lot of football together, isn't it? There's 5 footballers there, and Adam Kennedy can throw into that mix as well. But the fact that the longevity of playing together so many games has been the backbone of this football club for a long, long time. We talk about Phil Davis beforehand. They played a lot of football with the group, and the fact that they've gotten smacked around the place for the first 5 years of their career. He's got a lot more football in front of him, Cornelio, and so has Josh.
6th Giant to reach the milestone, Josh Kelly. 200th game today. Wardlaw got a hand pass way to Zerha with a clearance here. Lazaro beaten through the air by Nick Haynes. They rebound the ball off half back again. Lockie Ash, and Cornelio keeps that run going as well. Balks his way from Lazario. Comes back to centre half forward. A well-timed kick to Callahan. He's 55 from goal. Options down the pipe, or he just holds the footy for a moment. Callahan just flays his kick out to the pocket where Riccardi is leading, but it's a little too wide for him. It's going to be a boundary throw-in.
So they spoke this week about Josh Kelly's fads. He picks up a habit, apparently spends a lot of money on it, and then in 2 weeks he's bored of it. I bumped into him once in the city. I said, "How are you going? What are you doing here?" "Taking a barista course." And then I asked him a few weeks ago, "Oh yeah, I'm over that, done with it."
He's got a few nice cars too.
He's got a reputation of doing that, Josh Kelly.
Good if you can do it, afford it. Back in it comes here as Davies Uniacke pallet away here towards Toby Green, who snaps from the pocket, and it's again missing near side. So another minor score here. The Giants have left a few out there. 17, 13, 115 to 11, 4, 70. Margin is 45.
I'd be disappointed with that, Toby. It's a gimme really for his level, his ability, sorry.
Also, not all hobbies are expensive, but I think mine usually are.
Here's Zach Fisher, the former Blue. His first game as a Root. Out to Eddie Ford, who couldn't quite take the mark. Buckley's there. North have to be careful here. This could get ugly still. Jacob Ware sends it inside 50. Fisher went through his hands, but he should have marked it. Throwing a boot, and it was Riccardi. That's through for a behind. Kicked 3 goals in the first quarter, Jack Riccardi. Hasn't added to that tally since, but GWS have added plenty to the margin tally in the second half. 17-14, 116 they are. North 11-4, 70. They lead by 46 points, and we've gone 13.5 in the last quarter.
Well, the other side they go on the kick out. Himmelberg regathers here for the Giants. Sends his kick back inside 50, but it's straight down Cheesel's throat. He'll swing it across to left half back here. Darcy Tucker, the former Docker, sends his kick toward the interchange gates where Eddie Ford marks in a blue and white jumper. The Giants will be momentarily on top of the AFL ladder for what it's worth. Of course, the Gold Coast Suns, who play tonight, a better percentage, so they'll, if they can take their business against Adelaide, they'll reclaim their place on top. Of course, it's all for not much at this early stage of the season. Toby Pink here for North Melbourne. Kicks up towards half forward. Taylor in front of Sherry. Bursting through again here for North Melbourne, Zane Dersma. And now a hand pass on the bounce to Darcy Tucker. He's wrapped up down there by young Harvey Thomas. And the umpire will ball up on the wing.
It is confidence too, when you start 2-0, you saw the Swans obviously last night and the Giants. It really is a confidence boost when you can get your season off and running pretty confidently 2-0.
Especially when the Giants came into the season, they'll have tougher assignments than North.
Playing in a prelim.
With a target on their back, which was different to last year.
True.
And they got that momentum going, and by the time everyone worked out how good they were, they just couldn't be stopped. So they'll be happy with that. But, a long way to go, of course. Here they are, cruising off half-back, as they love to do. Haynes, who's on as a sub, gathers it. Lockie Ash is supporting him. The kick for Cadman is a nice one. Cadman did well to keep his feet and regather on the second attempt and find his captain in Green, who with core strength stood up in the tackle. McKercher, though, wheels away. That's been one of the stories of the game. This young man's composure on debut. Pick 2 in last year's draft. He's been brilliant. Now they find Zerha. Ball over the top for Davies Uniacke. Spots up something he likes in the middle of the attacking 50 for North, and that is Liam Shields, who's on as a sub. And he can have a look at goal number 94 of his illustrious career from 45 out.
Nicely done. Davies Uniacke, his ability to actually hold up, be composed with the ball and inside 50, put lovely weight on the kick and almost forced Shields to lead back in towards the goal. And courageous footballer, and joining up obviously with Clarkson.
The elder statesman of this North Melbourne squad, Liam Shields, is there to guide the youngsters through the infancy of their careers. But if you can add a major as well to his tally, he'll be happy with that. That's a lovely kick. And that brings the margin back to 40 points, which is probably a bit more deserving for North Melbourne based on the way in which they played.
That's right. And I think they probably need a couple of more eldest men. I'm talking about all the players to actually help, and probably key position players either end. To give them, they look like they've got the balance right, and some numbers are on the ball, and the players they've drafted and recruited. Obviously it's very hard to get and draft key position players to come straight into the game, because it does take a bit longer to develop, and it's more on getting some mature age centre-half forwards, centre-half backs, which are don't come cheaply, but certainly I'm sure they'll be on the hunt for some.
I mentioned no late changes for the Cats or the Saints at Virginia Park. So for Geelong, Sean Manor is their sub. St Kilda's is Lance Collard. I'll work on looking at what's happening at Carrara with the Gold Coast Suns and Adelaide Crows. Of course, that coverage coming up if you're listening through South Australia, or indeed find any game via the ABC Listen app. Restart in the middle here. North Melbourne with the clearance again through Wardlaw. Been busy all day, George Wardlaw. Out to the flank, overrun by Lazaro. Hand pass off the deck, Perryman. Off here for Riccardi, and now Kelly on his right boot to find Jacob Ware on the members wing. Goes on now upfield for a kick to Jake Riccardi. He's attacking side of halfway. Callaghan in fact to Riccardi. Riccardi's marking at centre half forward. Riccardi sets it up high to the pocket. Hogan impeded down there in defence, and the umpire has spotted the free kick to go the Giants' way. So it was awkward there from Josh Goda, who sort of just, it's sort of like an obstruction in rugby terms, where you kind of just, he didn't do an awful lot, but he blocked Hogan's run. He'll go back and take his set shot here. Jesse Hogan for goal number 7.
And he took his eye off the ball at all as a defender. You can't do it. You just come back and run into the opposition forwards running forward. It's a free kick every day of the week. Made it look really clumsy, but it certainly was there, the free kick.
Tough angle, this kick from the left forward pocket. Only 25 out. Opens up the angle here. Jesse Hogan for goal number 7. He misses. And it's the Giants by 41 points. 18 and a half played. Final term on Grandstand AFL. Declan Byrne on the boundary.
With their Giants having West Coast next week, who will be first to go early during the week and saying Jesse Hogan could kick 100 in the season? Ooh. Who's your tip to go early?
The West Australian newspaper.
North Melbourne in trouble meanwhile in their own defensive 50. The Giants forwards have closed on them, and Harvey Thomas will have a chance to kick his first goal in AFL football. He's caught Aidan Corr holding the ball in his own defensive 50, and this youngster, picked 59 in last year's draft, out of the Giants Academy, has bolted his way into the Giants starting team to open the season, kept his place from last week, was impressive, and now is the chance to be rewarded with his first AFL goal from 35 out, straight in front. What a moment this might be for the youngster. On his left,
no,
it's just pulling a touch, and the opportunity is gone for now.
Great build-up.
For a behind. I was hoping for a better result, as was Harvey Thomas, no doubt. But the Giants are well ahead. 17-16, 118. North Melbourne 12-4, 76.
Remember your first goal, Ty?
Sure do.
What are your memories of it?
I was a handball from Mickey R. He didn't want to give it, but he gave it to me, and I was led in the wing, and I kicked it from about 80.
Where was it? Against who?
SCG against Carlton.
Ah, beautiful. Giants lock it in 50 here as Cadman fires on goal from 45, and he sends it right across the line as well for a minor score. So they're having enough goes at things here, the Giants, but it's now another point to them. So 42 points is their margin. We've just hit time on now in the final term.
And you don't forget him, Spriggy. You're right. You got to remember that as a footballer too when you're playing. You're playing with a lot of teammates who've played a lot of football and kicked a lot of goals. It's important to celebrate the small wins.
North Melbourne's percentage being spared here. 17-17 the Giants have kicked. They're about to get another chance at it though, because Connor Iden has marked in a contest on the wing. Works it up to Nick Haynes, who has been ousted from the Giants' back six by Connor Iden effectively in the last season and a bit. Now they find Toby Green. There is a North Melbourne player down there, and I think this is a really bad injury. This is not good. I'm a long way away, and I can tell that his foot is not in a place that it needs to be. That's Josh Gota. And the North Melbourne players are signalling right now for their trainers to come across. It looks like a sickening injury. I'm not sure how it's occurred, but this is a lower leg problem for Josh Gota that looks really serious.
He's just done it by himself. He's actually standing, and I don't know if it's a lower limb injury, and he was pushed off it, and he's just doesn't look good at all. And is
it his knee, perhaps?
I think it's a lower limb, as in an ankle or broken leg, But
as I say, it was no contact. It was just as he went to sort of push off and run. Declan, back down to you.
Yeah, well, there's that phrase, ankle breaker, when you fall to your knees and you sidestep. It was like one of that, but no one was around him. He is clutching really low on the leg, so hopefully not the knee, more down near the ankle, but he was writhing in pain just then.
He's in lots of pain, Josh Gota.
So he's got his hands over his face, Gota, with 4 trainers around him. He's in serious pain. They are stabilising his ankle area now, and the stretcher, the motorised stretcher, is coming out onto the Showground Stadium. Kangaroos players are gathering in a huddle now. Giants players will as well. It's a sad end to what's been a really exciting game of football. The Giants may lead by 43 points, but the North Melbourne youngsters, McKercher, Dersma, Sheasel, Wardlaw, have all been impressive. But this is a sour taste that has been left in the mouth on the Saturday afternoon here in Sydney. What looks like a sickening injury to Josh Gota.
Yeah, let's hope it's not too bad, that the fact there wasn't contact and it wasn't an impact injury that, it's almost sometimes you see, those Achilles snaps but he's pushed off it, but it's actually looked like a rolled ankle, and just hoping it's not a break for the young man. It's disappointing, because you're right, it's been a positive afternoon. He's 20 years of age, and I'm sure his family are listening or watching. Young fella from Calder.
So yes, it is distressing when you see the stretcher out there, and it's not something you see often these days. He is standing up though, which is good. He's got the trainers under either arm. He'll come off here sort of with that assistance, but not on the stretcher, which is at least something there for Josh Gota. He's limping off quite heavily. He's in lots of pain, as we saw. And he'll make his way off on that far part of the ground and sort of walk all around Declan.
Yeah, he can't put any weight on that left foot. So luckily for him, the change rooms are on that end of the ground. So it's a short one, but he didn't want to get in the car. He wanted to walk off with the assistance, but can't put any weight on that left ankle. Yeah,
North's rooms are, as you say, up behind the goals at the Olympic Stadium end. So the Medicab makes its way off without its patient, and Josh Gota heads down into the rooms here for North Melbourne. 43 points is the Giants' lead here. It is just shy of that game high lead of 44, and we've played 24 minutes in this final term, albeit with quite a delay for that Josh Gota injury.
Maybe an ankle fracture, at best a really bad sprain, maybe an Achilles for Josh Gota. An odd injury have occurred like that, but thankfully he is limping and not on the stretcher. They give it to Connor Ryden, who lets go from just outside 50, off hands and through for a behind. And Connor Ryden was looking for his first major in AFL football, so they've taken the opportunity there, GWS, to try and set up their backman for his first major, and he's got very, very close indeed, off hands for a rush behind.
And his 70th game as well, Connor Ryden, so there you go.
That's the awareness of a captain. I was talking about it doesn't matter who kicks goals. Green's obviously clearly aware of his teammates and where they're up to.
Scott beyond offensive 50, Buckley with a spoil from behind down there on Dersma, and it's up against the boundary line as Buckley tackles Luke Davies-Uniacke. Never mind the fact the game is done and it's all sort of junk time. It was a bit of a tackle, plenty of intensity in that one from Jack Buckley. The umpire will throw it back in on the members' wing, closest to our broadcast position here at the Sydney Showground. Giants by 44 points is an equal game high lead. 17-18 plays 12-4.
Can Jesse Hogan add to his 6 goals? Can Tom Green notch up 40 disposals? He's on 37 at the moment. Young Jacob Ware just losing the handle on the football, out for a boundary throw-in just in front of the Giants dugout where Jesse Hogan is. So standing up, perhaps wants to get back out there to kick 7, or maybe he'll say I'm happy with my 6 for the game. And others can take charge.
Just curiously, 2 goals, 7 to 2 straight in this fourth quarter so far. So the Giants have had opportunities to bury the game. It's buried anyway, but as far as get that really big margin.
It's probably a story of the game. That's pretty early in the first quarter. They didn't put them away either, and they're 18 behind. So that's a lot of goals left out in the field, isn't it?
Sam Taylor having a spell downstairs. Back in it comes. Briggs and Sherry, the rucks. At the back, paddled forward by Bedford for the Giants. Now Callahan breaks through a pack. High ball towards about 30 from goal, but getting up there, Darcy Tucker for North Melbourne. Looks at the options by hand, draws the player. Bedford goes a high spiralling ball down the corridor here at the showground for Jack Buckley, who intercepts for the Giants. Hand pass off to Whitfield.
As if you hadn't had enough of Sam Taylor, Jack Buckley works lucky under the football to mark there. Now they find Toby Green, the Giants, at left half forward, just outside 50. Toby slows everything down.
He's called over Connor Iden again. See that?
He has.
He looked at him and he called him over there. He's called him looking for it. It's great.
Well, I think he's thought, if I can't get Connor Iden his first goal in AFL footy, I've kicked 4 behinds today. I wouldn't mind a major to my name. Toby Green.
He's got to try and find Harvey Thomas for his first goal.
He'll kick from 52 metres, wheels around a touch and then smashes it into a Kangaroos player. It spills back, though, to Toby Green, and then finds Tom Green, all bouncing about inside attacking 50 for the Giants. There is a free kick going the way of North Melbourne. So that was anticlimactic and scrappy in the end. The Giants lead by 44 points with 4 minutes remaining in this football game.
Yeah, I just love the way he goes about it still. It's scrappy with Toby. You don't know what's going to happen, and it's quite entertaining.
Here's Wardlaw. It's his 16th touch in the game this afternoon. Intercepted, though, here by Riccardi, who kicks from the pocket and goes out of bounds on the full. Well, that's one way not to kick enough behind. you've no change to the score here. 17-18 plays 12-4. 28 going final term. We'll get to a few of your texts post-game. 0437 774 774. The Cats and the Saints up next, or the Suns and the Crows at Carrara.
Just watching Jesse Hogan. He's desperate to get back out there. He can't get on the ground at the moment. He's got 6 goals to his name, and he knows he's got the chance, with a few minutes remaining, to notch up number 7 or 8. Himmelberg's marked it on the wing. The Giants are just penetrating constantly. North Melbourne's defensive 50 at the moment. Is roved by Toby Green off the pack, off hands. It'll be a boundary throw in next to the behind post for the Giants. Adam Kingley's been scratching his head a couple of times as well. A little bit frustrated with how wasteful his side have been.
And look, it can happen, like I said, when you're playing a scrappy-ish game and you're clinically not right in front of goals, but they've had plenty of opportunities to be happy with, and better second half from them.
3 minutes of game time left. Back in it comes. Stoppage inside 50 for the Giants. A snap on his right from Josh Kelly. Right to the line. Not quite. It's punched through for a minor score. 17-19, 121 to 12-4, 76.
The North have struggled to get past halfway for the last 10-15 minutes or so, and they still can't manage to do so. Young Dersma's knocked off the football. It's been an excellent debut for him, but he's probably tiring a touch. That's understandable. Riccardi's got it now. Looks for Green, has punched away from him by the opposite number 4 in Aidan Core, and this game is just petering out a touch.
Just blow the siren. It really is, isn't it? The last 10 minutes has been very scrappy, and obviously the injury as well has probably flattened it a bit.
Disappointing crowd. We had 22,000 here last week. Of course, you won't get it every week. You won't get it most weeks here at the showground, but it's sort of, it's disappointing. I'll get to that later on, as we've seen a free kick going the way of the Kangaroos. North, I guess it's their first game of the year, but you look at the home fans as far as Toby Green has intercepted this ball, but it's going to be coming back to where the free kick is being taken, as the umpire hadn't blown time back on. For all the talk about the Giants externally, I suppose it's all about what happens right here at their home deck, and you want to see some bigger crowds along the journey, that's for sure. Up to the logo where Sherry is playing from behind on Cadden. Second bite, pulls in the grab. North wheel and go here through Wardlaw. Loads up inside 50. Curtis back there did well. Got enough separation down there on Haynes, and he'll go back and take a set shot from 25 out directly in front.
I like this kid also, 21 years of age. He's played 30, what has he played? 36 games of footy, so he's looked dangerous around goals, and it gives you plenty to think about in his ability to win 1v1.
His mum played netball for Tonga, and he lines up the kick here, and Paul Curtis slots his second. It's all in consolation here for the Roos. 31 minutes played in this final term. It's the Giants 17-19, 121 to North Melbourne 12-4, 76.
It's you're just looking at the coach's box. Well done, young Curtis, but also the ruckman and his ability to win some 1v1s. That's probably the pattern, the method that they need to go a bit faster once they get the ball inside their forward 50. They were very slow with the ball moving for a lot of the game, North Melbourne, but their ability to actually look for a handball and break the line and get it into 1v1.
Paul Curtis has had 9 disposals and 9 score involvement.
Yeah.
He's looked really sharp, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Every time, clearly.
Yep.
It's factual. He's got the ball in his hand. He's made something happen.
That's right. And he's 21 years of age, but you can clearly see it with your eyes. You don't need the numbers also, but the fact that he's willing to keep fighting, keep working through a defence that's been excellent all day, and he's looked very, very dangerous and has been another big plus for North Melbourne.
Well, Nick Larkey's had his colours lowered this afternoon by Sam Taylor, despite 3 goals as the main man, of course, in attack for North. But I think a rover like Curtis around him makes that forward line a whole lot more dangerous. They work it up to left half forward. Perryman gathers it. Gives it to Callaghan. The 2 inclusions for the Giants this afternoon. And now strong mark by Callum Brown, who's kicked 2 goals to go with his 5 last week. He's 70-odd out. That's probably just a little bit too far for him. And his booming kick. Centres it for Nick Haynes, who marks. 65 out, other side of the ground. And he'll switch it wider to Lockie Ash. Giants leading by 39 points. We're inside the final minute at the showground. Back-to-back wins to start the season for Adam Kingsley's side. Ash goes to the pocket, and Tristan Sherry, who has battled away beautifully in the ruck, it must be said, probably had the better of Kieran Briggs, marks in the right back pocket.
Yeah, he's had a good game, and I love the way he's gone about it. I've said it numerous times, and they'll be pleased with these little wins that you've got from a personal point of view. Not as a whole, as a team, the scoreboard, but certainly the personal and the small wins are big for you when you're coming up the ladder and trying to develop as a young football team.
Fisher to Tucker. I'm hungry now. Comes towards the wing as it's been marked by Riccardi. Takes a towering grab over the top of Eddie Ford out on the members' wing here in Sydney. Well, the Giants,
I'm thirsty,
have done plenty tonight through most of the game. And they go back-to-back with victories to start season 2024. Adam Kingsley's men keep making big, big sounds with 2 strong wins at home. This one by 39 points.
Well, there's a big, big sound from the west of the town. It's the sound of the mighty Giants. Feel the ground is shaking. The other teams are quaking in their boots before the Giants. We take the longest strides and the highest leap. We're stronger than the rest. We're the greater Western Sydney Giants. We're the biggest and the best. And we will never surrender. We'll fight until the end. We're greater than the rest.
For the home side, Jesse Hogan kicks 6. It was 3 for Jake Riccardi, 2 for Callum Brown, Aaron Cadman and Josh Kelly in his milestone game. Singles to Toby Bedford and to Tom Green. Toby Green had 4 behinds, by the way, as well, the Giant skipper. While for North Melbourne, 3 for Nick Larkey, 2 each for Curtis, Dersma and Stevenson. Singles for Zerha, Ford, Shields and Sherry. The Giants led by 15 points at quarter time, 19 at half, 37 points at three-quarter time, and 39 points the final margin.
West of the town, it's the sound of the mighty Giants. Feel the ground is shaking, the other teams are quaking in their boots before the Giants. Take the longest strides and the highest leap. We're stronger than the rest. We're the greater Western Sydney Giants. We're the biggest and the best. And we will never surrender. We'll fight until the end. We're greater than the rest.
The Giants by 39 points in the end. 17-19, 121 to 13-4, 82 over North Melbourne. Ty Canelli, your thoughts across these 4 quarters of football?
Yeah, look, the comprehensive win in the end and the scoreboard. the first half of football, it was patchy from a Giants perspective, and they were a bit too cute, and you can give them some excuses, but it's probably more the fact that where North Melbourne came into play and the young players was a standout in the first half itself, as Dersma, Kircher, Curtis, their ability, Sheasel obviously we know, their ability to actually keep in the fight in the first half and put it up to the Giants, and they also kicked very straight. And then the Giants really got hold of the game early in the third quarter. They kicked 3 straight out of the gun. First 5 minutes they had 3 on the board. Start of the second half, and their bounce from half back was electric in the third quarter. And really North Melbourne struggled with the speed of the game in the last 15 to 20 minutes of the game itself. You look at all over the ground from a Giants perspective, Taylor down back, his ability to intercept, they never got a hold of that at all, North Melbourne. And no, Larky's kicked 3, kicked 2 out the back, so Taylor had the best of them all day. And then the midfield group we've talked about with their numbers and their ability to get their hands on the ball, and the piece early for the Giants was this misconnection going forward. But from a North Melbourne perspective, I know Clark up pretty well. He'll be pretty peed off about the result, and that's the way he is, but you've got to take some of the wins that they've had. They've had some big wins in this game against a team that are a top 4 team, and you've got to take them, and you've got to, the learnings we talked about at half time are very evident with this football club and the way they're going to play and the style that they're going to play, and you've got to be confident with Clark obviously, and he knows his stuff as a footballer, but you've certainly got to be excited from a North Melbourne perspective. You don't look at the scoreboard if you're a North Melbourne football coach or football fan, you've got to look at the process itself and how they're going about it.
And the signs were good today. Giants winners by 39 points, but the youngsters McKercher and Dersma were outstanding. Sheasel had 32 possessions, Davies Uniacke 29, Tom Powell, who's starting to come along nicely with 26. Bailey Scott's another one they like with 23. And Curtis, 9 disposals, but 9 score involvements and a couple of goals. He looks very dangerous up forward. But the Giants, simply too strong. And Tom Green with another massive game. 37 disposals, 16 of those contested, 6 clearances, 14 score involvements and a goal. Cornelio, big as well with 30. Whitfield was sensational off half back with 29 touches. Kelly in game 200 was a big story coming in, and he had 24 disposals and a couple of goals against the team that his dad played for. And then others like Callahan was able to work his way into the game, his first game of the season after missing a lot of the pre-season towards the start of the campaign as well. He had 24 touches. Brent Daniels really good with 22 and 11 score involvements. And Jesse Hogan, talk about statements that have been made early in the season. Step aside some of the big names in Victoria, the key forwards that get spoken about a lot. Jesse Hogan has reminded everyone of his talents.
Josh Kelly's up on the shoulders of a couple of his teammates there, Lockie Whitfield and Toby Green, share him off. The 200 gamer who becomes just the 6th Giant to reach the milestone. What a special player he's been at this football club, Josh Kelly. He receives the adoration and the applause of those that are lining the race in their orange and charcoal, and they make their way down into the rooms where Declan Byrne is waiting for them. Declan.
Yeah, it's just starting to fill out here. As we said last week, they weren't too boisterous with their round 1 win, despite how much it went. I think they really know that this season they could go far. As the team walk in, they stroll past the inaugural co-captain Cal Ward, not wearing a sling this week, so that's a good sign. But they wander in now, Toby Green giving Callan Ward's son a little rub on the head, and they all give Ward a hug. Very happy in here, but certainly subdued again. It was a 40-point win. I look forward to speaking to one of the players and seeing what Kingsley said at half-time. They did waste a few out there. Jesse Hogan getting congratulated by a few of the boys on his 6 goals. They're ambling in. And Josh Kelly, one of the last to make his way towards the circle. Connor Iden's excited. Saw his family in the rooms last week. First time they'd ever watched him play. First time they'd been out here. As they circle up to sing their song and deliver that big, big sound. I'm just looking around waiting for one more. It is very chill down here. Sometimes they're yahooing, the family's going crazy. Here they are.
Declan. So back there shortly. We're off in 5 minutes' time to either Coonya Park for Geelong versus St Kilda or Carrara for Gold Coast and Adelaide. We'll get you there very soon. Otherwise, if we can't get any reaction from the Giants' rooms quickly, we'll bring it to you as part of the halftime or post-game later on. Your votes in the ABC Player of the Year, Ty Kennelly, where have you gone?
Yeah, look, it's probably on all parts of the field. Battling with probably Sam Taylor. I'll give him the 1. I was battling as a defender myself, and no, I didn't defend a whole lot, but Sam Taylor, 13 disposals and 12 of them intercept possessions, and really gave him a lot of bounce, and 5 of those contested marks. The 2 votes is going to go to Tom Green, 37, 16 contested, 9 tackles, 14 score involvements and 1 goal won, and then obviously Jesse Horgan's impact in the game, 18 disposals was enormous, but there's 6 goals, 13 score involvements, and a lot of opportunities to give off a couple too.
So 3 Hogan, 2 to Tom Green and 1 to Sam Taylor. Down to you, Declan Byrne.
We've got the 200 gamer, Josh Kelly. Special win, how did it feel?
Yeah, it was great. It wasn't the prettiest of games at times. It was very up and back, fast game. We were out on our legs a little bit, but to get the win on a day like this does mean a lot, so very happy.
Been in here the last couple of weeks in the rooms, feels a bit more subdued. No big celebrations, but they're getting around you. What is the feeling this year in the Giants?
No, we got high hopes. I mean, we enjoy these moments. I think the family's still filtering down, so it can be a bit hard to get them in at times. But no, we're very happy. We enjoy the wins, but at the same time, we got high hopes. So it's just the start of the year. There's a lot to go, but to start 2-0, playing some good footy, we're putting ourselves in a good position.
What was it like playing against North Melbourne? Tell people how fanatical you were. Your dad played for them. We saw photos during the week of you with some of the players. What were you like as a 10-year-old with the Kangaroos?
Oh, it definitely added a bit for me today. It made it that little bit more special. No, I was a big fan. Growing up in Melbourne, footy's everything. So North Melbourne was the team for me. So the photos popped up. Mum did well to dig them up from a few fan days. But it was a bit of a full circle moment playing 200 games. As the build-up gets closer, it starts to sink in a little bit. So I'm very happy right now.
Looking across your 200 games, is there a highlight that stands out for you personally and on a team perspective?
It's a good question. There's a few of the wins. When the big crowds are against us, and moments like that are pretty special. But it'd be hard to pinpoint one. I think days like this, when I got all my mates up here from Melbourne, I got my family here, the partner, so it is special. The group's in a great place. I felt very loved this week, so it's good.
There was a few chats in the commentary box about the latest fad you're doing. You're big into fads. Daniel Garb said he saw you doing a barista course not long ago. What's the latest fad in Josh Kelly's life right now?
I'd call them interests. I like playing around with different things, see what sticks. So there's actually nothing at the moment. I don't want to go chucking anything out there and then I've got to hold myself to it. So there has been a barista course, there's been guitar, there's been Italian lessons. So I might look back around on a couple of those.
Quickly on half-time, Adam Kingsley, did he feel like you guys were wasteful in the first half and needed to capitalise going into that second half?
Probably wasn't so much wasteful. We were not defending the ground well. We were playing. It was a slingshot brand of footy for both teams, and if we weren't scoring, we weren't defending on the back of that. It was going too easy up the other end. So there was a few things to do with that. Centre bounce wasn't going too well, so a couple of little things we needed to tune up, but. At the same time, North was playing a very attacking brand of footy, so they were going to get through at times. We were probably just giving them a few too many looks. But we didn't really want that slingshot brand of footy, so we had to try and put the brakes on that a little bit.
Well done. A huge achievement, one of a handful of Giants to get to 200. You should be very proud, and well done. Couple of goals in your milestone game.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Josh Kelly there with Declan Byrne in the Giants rooms. Winners here by 39 points. They've got the Eagles away next week at Perth Stadium. That's Sunday that's 3:50 Perth time or Western time. And North are at home against Freo at Docklands Saturday afternoon. Thanks, Ty.
Thank you.
See you next time.
Yeah, looking
I'm
forward
off for a week. I'll see you 2 weeks' time. Thanks to Daniel Garb, to Declan Byrne, to our tech, Tegan Nichols, and to Cash and Jesse in the studio. Thank you, most importantly, for your company. Grandstand AFL continues either in Geelong for the Cats and the Saints or at Carrara for the Suns and the Crows. Enjoy your Saturday evening.